feels special because we've actually got the 3-year anniversary tonight of Dynamite. It is actually an anniversary show, so it kind of fills me with hope that this is going to be a little bit special. I mean, it is a go-home as well. We can't escape the fact it's a go-home. We all know what go-homes are like. Go-homes, you don't tend to get any major twists or turns. What you usually tend to get really is just the final touches. But for tonight's go-home, I think it's a little bit different because Double or Nothing has only just sort of fallen into place. Double or Nothing has been, these past couple of weeks, like, a few announced matches, and then we've really been scrambling to try and like fill the rest of the card. Just looking at the card now, we have actually got to 10 matches. There are 10 matches that are announced for Double or Nothing. So it sort of feels like we've only just got to where we need to get to. Like, the build for this has been a bit strange. It's been a little bit slow. I don't know. It's not slower, but it's kind of come together very, very late. So it still sort of feels like there's things that can happen. It still sort of feels like tonight's show has definitely got the ability to surprise, throw in a few twists and turns, definitely put in a few final touches of things. So, yeah, I think is there not a cage match tonight as well? I've got a feeling there is a Wardlow, Shawn Spears cage match tonight. Just to talk of twists and turns, that'll give you an idea of what we've got coming up. Let me find the tweet that they always put out. Here it is. This is the one that tells us everything. So tonight we've got, in the Owen Hart tournament, we've got Toni Storm taking on Britt Baker. I mean, that's pay-per-view worthy alone. Then we've got Samoa Joe taking on Kyle O'Reilly. Those are Owen Hart matches. We've got Private Party, Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. They are... What are they doing? Private Party versus Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston plus guest commentators. Right, the text was really small. So, Private Party against Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Guest commentators of Jericho and William Regal. We got Shawn Spears against Wardlow inside a steel cage with MJF. We've got an interview with Thunder Rosa. That'll be interesting because it looks like it's a sit-down interview with Tony Schiavone by the looks of it. We've got FTR taking on Roppongi Vice, which is cool for all you New Japan fans. We've got Hangman and CM Punk face-to-face. And we've got Jungle Boy taking on Swerve, taking on Ricky Starks. So... yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things that have been announced for tonight. And as we said, it is a go-home show, but lots of final touches, lots of things that we need to just get finished up. I can go through the Double or Nothing match card, might as well get that done so that everyone knows where we are. We are doing Double or Nothing, it's this Sunday. So on Sunday, we will be doing Double or Nothing, so you can join us for that watch-along on Sunday. I might be doing some boxing on Saturday. I need to have a look. There's no UFC. No UFC on Saturday. But we are 100% doing Double or Nothing on Sunday. So I need to have a look. I did see there was a boxing thing on Saturday that looked quite good. But I haven't got as far as to actually setting anything up yet. So that's what we're doing at the weekend, or certainly where we are. In regards to Double or Nothing, let's just go through the match card and then I'll jump into the chat. So, main event is Hangman Adam Page against CM Punk for the AEW World Championship. We've got the Hardys taking on the Young Bucks. That match has been confirmed. We've got House of Black, which is Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King taking on Death Triangle. That's Pac, Penta, and Rey Fenix. That's a 6-man tag match. We got the Jericho Appreciation Society taking on the Blackpool Combat Club. This is an Anarchy in the Arena match. I don't know what that is. What it isn't is blood and guts. That's my feeling on it. It's not blood or guts. So I wish it was blood or guts. But it's Blood and Guts. But it's an Anarchy in the Arena match. Don't know how I feel about that. I need to know what an Anarchy in the Arena match is first. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are going to be taking on Team Taz and taking on Keith Lee and Swerve. So that is a 3-way tag team match for the AEW Tag Team Championships. So Jurassic Express versus Team Taz versus Keith Lee and Swerve. We've got Thunder Rosa defending against Serena Deeb. So we've got that for the AEW Women's World Championship. We've got Toni Storm or Britt Baker, we're going to find out tonight, taking on Ruby Soho or Chris Statlander in the final of the Women's Owen Hart Cup tournament. So we've got that. We've got Kyle O'Reilly or Samoa Joe will take on Adam Cole in the final of the Owen Hart male tournament. And then we've got a couple of pre-show matches. Jade Cargill is taking on Anna Jay. Hookhausen is taking on Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. So there we go. 10 matches, 8 on the show, 2 on the pre-show. You know what these AEW cards are like. They tend to go 4 hours on that main show. So it's going to be long. So prepare yourself for it going quite long. So I must say, some of the more recent pay-per-views from AEW I think have been very, very good. But I do also think that they can feel like they are quite long at sometimes. Sometimes you can... I was trying to think what makes UFC different. And I think what makes UFC different is that the actual fight time is quite low. If you think, when we watch UFC, because we tend to watch UFC every Saturday, those tend to go 6 hours, right? And we do that most Saturdays. And I do feel tired at the end of them, but I don't necessarily feel burnt out by the end of them. And I think it's because the actual fight time is quite limited. Whereas with AEW, it's like 4 hours and there's a lot of action. I mean, it's just a lot of action all the time. So you do tend to feel quite exhausted at the end of them. So I would say you certainly get your money's worth from an AEW pay-per-view. 10 matches there, 8 on the main show, 2 on the pre-show. Match I'm most looking forward to, I'm going to answer that because that's a question that always comes up. Match I'm most looking forward to, I would say I am most looking forward to Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb. I think that's got massive potential. And maybe Jericho Appreciation Society against Blackpool Combat Club. I don't know what an Anarchy in the Arena match is, so hopefully we'll find that out tonight. So once I know what that is, it's probably a Falls Count Anywhere type, do whatever you want in the arena type thing. That would be my guess. Falls Count Anywhere, just literally Anarchy in the Arena. Falls Count Anywhere and no DQ, and you're just going to have people fighting all over the place. Jumping off like railings and whatever. I'd imagine it'll be something like that. So that could be fun, in all fairness. That could be fun. So, we've got Blackpool Combat Club and Eddie Kingston, Santana Ortiz with them taking on Jericho Appreciation Society. No Wheeler Yuta at the moment, and I don't know why, to be honest. It's just Danielson and Moxley. Is he injured or something? I honestly don't know. I missed it as to where he is. So there's no Wheeler Yuta at the moment. It's going to be Chris Jericho, Matt Maynard, Angelo Parker, Daniel Garcia, and Jake Hager. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in Jericho Appreciation Society. Taking on Eddie Kingston, Santana, Ortiz, Bryan Danielson, and Jon Moxley. So that's the 5 on the other team. So, yeah, I'm probably looking forward to that. And Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb the most. But hopefully Britt Baker... I'd like it... Oh, man. Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho, I think would be pretty cool. Or Britt Baker, Chris Statlander. I don't mind. We have seen that before, though. I think we've seen Britt Baker, Ruby Soho as well. So, Yeah, I think I'd rather see a Britt Baker match than a Toni Storm match. So hopefully Britt Baker can win tonight and get through. That would be good. And then that match will be pretty interesting. Samoa Joe, Adam Cole, I'd probably go with that. I know people would like Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, but I think I'd be more into Samoa Joe. So hopefully Joe can get the job done, and then we get Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole. That's tasty. I'd like that as well. House of Black I'm not interested in. Hardy's, Young Bucks, a bit worried. Hardy's aren't looking great at the moment, so I'm a little bit like, not sure how that match is going to go. Could be great. It could be like great, and everything could come together, or it could be like when it was Matt Hardy against Sammy Guevara and he got pushed off that crane. Was it Sammy that took a horrible fall and like smacked his head on the floor, and it was he was out for the count basically. It could be like one of them where it's a little bit off. So, I don't know what to expect with that. And then, obviously, the main event's going to be interesting as well. So, not a bad card. Not a bad card. Yuta is wrestling in the Best of Super Juniors with New Japan, says David. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, those kind of bits passed me by, to be honest. They probably announced it last week, but we have to have the sound turned down for copyright reasons. So, sometimes bits like that passed me by. Slip past. It's funny, actually, because I was listening to Jim Cornette, and he mentioned that Wheeler Yuta's not around for a while. And it made me think, I need to just check why. So he was talking about how Wheeler Yuta wasn't around. So, yeah, that's interesting. Edward said, did you see the AJ news? He went into a random fault. Not saying why, because it's bad. I've tweeted you. I agree with what he did and why he did it. I don't know. I haven't seen any news. No, I don't know what that's about. To be honest, if you did Baker winning, she's burying the other talent they've been building up, Tony, says Michael. To be honest, I'm not even thinking about it from a booker's point of view. A lot of the time when I talk about the shows, I do tend to think from right, who have we been building, who are we trying to push, and I agree, I tend to look at it that way. But as I was just looking through the card there, I was just looking for what I would be excited for, and I've got to be honest, I'd be more interested in seeing a Britt Baker match than a Toni Storm match. So I agree from a booker's point of view, where they've been, you've only just signed Toni Storm, you're trying to push Toni Storm a bit, you might want to actually promote her and actually have her on the cards. So it might make more sense for her to go. But for me personally, I would much rather watch a Britt Baker match than a Toni Storm match. So that's kind of where my head was at. I love AEW pay-per-views. They always feel big, says Moldy. Shawn says Britt Baker is good, but not the best female in AEW. Who's the best, Shawn? Who's the best? Who are you giving that crown to? Who's the best? Michael said, do you not do NXT anymore? No. Yuta is in New Japan till when, says Austin. I am finding this out. I mean, at the same time as you, really. It seems like if he's in with the Best of the Super Juniors, it would probably take him out the picture for a month or so. It's a shame that he's missing Double or Nothing, isn't it, really? They've kind of put him in Blackpool Combat Club and built him all up, and now he's in a different company doing something for them instead. Is a bit of a shame, but maybe that's part of the agreement they've got. Clearly they've got this agreement with New Japan. We're building towards Forbidden Door, which is going to be a massive show. It's going to be a massive show for us. I don't know, if it's going to get the attention of the casual fans, but maybe part of that agreement is they have certain stars at certain times. Because it is a shame that he's missing, one of their biggest matches. This is probably Blackpool Combat Club's biggest match to date, and Wheeler Yuta isn't around for it. But as we said, maybe that's all part and parcel of the deal to get Forbidden Door over the line. I heard that Damian Sandow has announced he's retiring from NWA. Is he? That's a shame. He's good, man. I really like him. Aaron Stevens. He was good in NWA. He was very entertaining. So that's a bit of a shame that he's like calling it a day now. So I wish him all the best if that's true. Britt doesn't need the TBS or World Championship to be a big deal. She already is. Any news on the return of Kenny? No, nothing. Nothing that I've seen. There's a lot of people hoping he's going to be involved at Forbidden Door, but what I've seen is that apparently he is not going to be medically ready for Forbidden Door. Medically cleared, so. But there's people definitely hoping that he can play a part in that show. So I would imagine he'll make an appearance. Maybe even set some up for the future. Who knows? You know? Okada's on that card potentially, and maybe Omega comes out. We get a stare down. They don't actually exchange blows or anything, but just something to tease a future encounter. A lot of people would probably want him to face someone different, but I would love to see another Omega Okada match. For me, those are matches that really define this era of wrestling. I think that those matches. You could say in a way that those matches really establish AEW if you look at the bigger picture, because Kenny in New Japan was killing it, Bullet Club was amazing, but I think the matches he has with Okada are matches that hardcore wrestling fans go out of their way to watch. Like when you hear of matches getting 6 stars from Meltzer and blowing up the Meltzer scale, I did. You go out of your way to watch them because, if someone's, I never got a chance to watch New Japan that much, but it was the talk. I'm just going back to when it was happening, but it was the talk of wrestling world basically is what was happening in New Japan with Bullet Club and Okada and Omega, and Okada had got to a level where he was regarded as the best in the world. So I think I signed up to New Japan and I was watching Wrestle Kingdoms and I was really actively following what was happening with that story. And obviously they faced I think it's 3 times over the space of a couple of years. We get them at Wrestle Kingdom. They face at I think it's Dominion, and they face again. And the story that's told is absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely brilliant, and the matches are just off the chart with the Meltzer scale. And I know people can roll their eyes at that, but you go back to when those matches were happening, and I don't know. I feel like people have sort of turned on Meltzer because of the fact that there's a lot of people believe he's biased towards AEW. There's been a lot of backlash to certain awards that he's given out. There's, Jim Cornette's, fallen out with him. And I think Jim Cornette's got a massively popular podcast. So it's kind of there's been a few things that have happened since then. But if you go back a few years, Meltzer was widely, held in high esteem. To be honest, there was you didn't tend to hear too many people saying bad things about Dave Meltzer. Not really now. Now I would say the mood has changed on him, and I'd say it's a more split opinion. If you're for him or against him, if you love him or hate him. I'm quite personally indifferent to him. I think that he has found out some incredible information. I think he does have good sources. I think without Dave Meltzer, I mean, you just wouldn't get, news, the majority of news that you get. Because a majority of, videos that get made on YouTube is because of news that's broken the Wrestling Observer. And he's been doing it since the 80s, but, I've got respect for it. I don't love him. I'm not an observer, diehard or anything like this, but I got respect for what he does. And I don't agree with his all of his star ratings, but then who would? Do you know what I mean? We've all got our own opinions. But so I think he's genuinely there or thereabouts. But you can definitely look at some match going, he didn't give that 5 stars, but he gave that 5 stars. I mean, that would be the same with anyone, wouldn't it? So, but when it was blowing up and all of that kind of stuff, I went out my way to watch. And of course, then I think a lot of people did. And I think that then that made Omega a bigger star. It made Okada a bigger star. It made New Japan, even more visible to the Western world. And that interest then really laid the foundations for AEW, because when Tony Khan started AEW, he had Kenny Omega, Young Bucks that people already knew because of matches like the ones against Okada. So, yeah, I would love to see one more, to be honest. I think it's a feud that defines this generation. Big Time Back said, I know it's not wrestling related, but did you hear about what happened in Texas? I did, and it's horrific. It is absolutely horrific, and obviously thoughts go out to those families. It's awful. There's nothing more to say. I didn't know about it yesterday until very, very late. And because I actually spoke to my mom about it, and she said that it had been breaking through, like before we did the Wrestling Escape Pod. She said it had been broken through. So when we do the Wrestling Escape Pod yesterday, or when we did it, I hadn't heard. I had no idea. I didn't hear about it. So I didn't know about it. I didn't find out until well after, as like news was like coming through. So. Yeah, it's awful. I don't know what to say on it. There's nothing to say on it. I just hope that, things can change, because I don't think there's anyone that wants to see this happening anymore. Too many times it happens, isn't it? It is too many times. So, but how you go about changing it, is difficult, because everyone needs to be on the same page. It still doesn't feel like everyone is on this issue, so... Without getting, political. I have no interest in getting political at all. But I'm just saying that it's got to stop, innit? Kids getting killed at school. Awful. Awful. Chalmers says today's the 3-year anniversary of Dynamite. Yeah. I don't know if that is exactly on the day, but yes, it is the 3-year anniversary episode, yes. Edward said, thoughts on Salah confirming that he's going to stay next season. Thoughts on Klopp getting Manager of the Year. I don't think he deserved it. I think Klopp deserves it. I think Klopp deserves it because he's managed to get to 3 finals and take the Premier League to the final day of the season. Man City have managed to get to no finals, but did win the Premier League. So I think that Klopp deserves it. I think Klopp's had a better season. It's just a shame that, obviously got pipped for the Premier League. But yeah, I mean, that's a hell of an achievement. If that was Man United that had done what Klopp had done, I wouldn't be arguing about United getting Manager of the Season. And maybe Ten Hag will next year. We'll have to see. But, yeah, good. I ain't got a problem with that. And Salah staying. Still don't know if he's signing a new contract, though. His current contract runs until June of 2023. So it could be that he's agreed to stay for 1 more year. And then you lose him for free next year. I have no idea. So, I mean, look, it's good that he's sticking around, but... I still don't think that saga is finished, because he's staying, but he's staying only to potentially be free next year, which could be, a bit of a blow, a bit of a problem. I haven't heard that he signed a new deal. I haven't heard that he signed a new contract, and here are the terms. So really, nothing has really changed, apart from the fact that Liverpool aren't selling him. But they might sell him. Who knows? If he's not going to sign a new deal and they get a big offer for him this summer, he might still end up going. But, yeah, bit weird, that one. It's a bit weird. He's come out and said, I'm not going this summer, but he's not come out and said he signed a new deal. Not that I've seen, anyway, and you'll know more than I do. Premier League Manager of the Season, not just Manager of the Season. Getting 3 finals has got nothing to do with winning Premier League Manager of the Season. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he'd just won, Manager of the Season. I would say, if he's won Manager of the Season, I would say Liverpool have had a fantastic season. If it's Premier League Manager of the Season, then, well, yeah, you'd probably give it to Guardiola because they won the Premier League. So, yeah, okay. If it's for the Premier League, then I can see where it's a bit controversial. James said, Klopp has won more than Pep this season, so Manager of the Season is right. Hot topic? Hot topic? Chalmers said, I would have thought an anniversary was around October. I remember they were going head-to-head with NXT around October. Don't know, dude. Or was that 3 years? Maybe it's the 3-year anniversary of AEW. Let me jump in. I know it's a 3-year anniversary. Oh. Let me try and find the wording for you. I think Statlander will be the one to dethrone Jade Cargill. Maybe. They've changed her up a little bit. She's not that alien anymore, is she? She's dumped the alien gimmick, so maybe they're doing a little something there. I don't find her promos very engaging, though, if I'm being honest. Let's have a look. It is Dynamite's... it's a bit... I don't really understand it. It says Dynamite 3-year AEW debut anniversary. So what does that mean? Is that the 3-year anniversary of Dynamite? Or is it the 3-year AEW anniversary? It says... Tonight... Dynamite marks the third... here it is. It's worded better here. Dynamite marks the third anniversary of the first Double or Nothing live. So it's the 3-year anniversary of the first AEW show, which was Double or Nothing. So it's the 3-year anniversary of sort of AEW. When does AEW technically start? I suppose that's the question. Does it start when they announce it? Does it start when they were doing those press conferences? Does it start with Double or Nothing? So it's the 3-year anniversary of Double or Nothing, which was the first AEW show. So there we go. Tonight, live from Vegas, Toni Storm has got an appointment with Britt Baker in the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament semi-final. And then we've got a little video package showing those two women. As I said, I don't mind Toni Storm getting through, but I'd rather it be Britt Baker, to be honest. I'd rather it be Britt Baker. I find her a bit more interesting. And steel cage match. We've got Wardlow and we've got Shawn Spears inside a steel cage with MJF as guest referee. Michael said there was a school shooting back in November as well, and that was really sad. Edward said he won both Premier League Manager of the Season and the Alex Ferguson Manager of the Year, which is the Manager of the Year. Is it called the Alex Ferguson Manager of the Year Awards? I never knew that. Damn, they named the award after Fergie. That's really cool. That's really cool. That's really cool. I didn't know it was called that. Well, look, all I'll say is I got no problems with him winning Manager of the Year. Premier League Manager of the Year. It's a little bit more controversial because obviously Guardiola won it. You know, Man City got more points. They scored more goals. So you can look at it that way. Or I think as James made, good point. I think Liverpool technically won more games. And maybe some of those performances from Liverpool as well were maybe a bit more eye-catching. So, maybe a bit more controversial for the Premier League one, but not one that I would really spend any time arguing. Doesn't bother me. Seeb said, are you planning on streaming the Davis fight on Saturday? Thoughts on Canelo Triple G in September? I am thinking of doing the Davis fight, yes. So there's no UFC on Saturday night. And for us to not do a stream on Saturday would just be weird. So I think the boxing's quite a big deal. So the Davis fight is definitely on my radar. I need to just have a look where it's being shown and look at the card and really dig into it. But I am tempted to do that, yes. And Triple G Canelo, I think is really exciting. I think it's a shame that it's coming off the back of Canelo losing, because I think the message that's gone out to the casuals is, well, Canelo's lost now. I think part of the appeal was that Canelo had only lost to Mayweather, and now he's just lost again recently. And people don't really take into account that he'd gone up to light heavyweight and he was in a division that he just didn't belong in. Completely outsized, and fighting in a division that he just absolutely didn't belong in, taking on a very skilled fighter. Granted, a fighter I still thought he would beat because it's Canelo in it. It's Canelo. You just don't pick against Canelo. You expect if he's weighed it up and gone, I can do that. I am not going to be doubting him for going after that challenge. So for him to lose, I think was quite a big deal, and I think that might hurt the buys for this trilogy fight. But saying that, I think this is the fight that people want to see. Him against Triple G, those fights in the past have always been so close, so controversial, that it's tasty, man, yeah. I don't know what weekend that's on. I'd love to do it. I absolutely want to do it. But knowing my luck, it'll be on at the same time as SummerSlam. It'll be on at the same time as UFC 278. It'll be on at the same time as a Mayweather fight, a Jake Paul fight. It'll be on at the same time as literally everything else that we do. So I'll have to look into that as well. Losing in boxing is a big deal. It's not like UFC, says Shola. Yeah, that is true. And it's a bit of a shame, to be honest, because if you lose, he lost, and fine, but it was in a division he didn't belong in. It was in a division that he was too small for, really. He didn't really belong in that division. He had no rights to be there. It's only because of his boxing skill that you go, he could do that. And then, he couldn't. But I think that it's a shame, because this is now coming off the back of that. But it doesn't dampen my interest, and I'm sure it doesn't dampen many of your interests in it as well. So it'll still be an incredibly well-purchased pay-per-view, but could there just be a few casuals that maybe don't see Canelo quite in the same light now that he's just lost? Maybe. We'll see. Or maybe the promotion's going to be amazing, and, there'll be a bit of heat between the fighters, and then people will, buy into the event. But, yeah, I'm definitely interested. Definitely. Don't forget, Champions League final. That should be earlier, though. I'm guessing the boxing will be 3 a.m, UK time. That's why I need to look into it, because I don't actually know where it's coming from, but I'm guessing it's America, and I'm guessing it'll be on at 3 a.m. So Champions League we should be able to do that as well. But good point. Brenton, hello, shout out to you. Hope you are well. You sound a bit under the weather. No? Feeling all right? Feeling all right? Mark said, since you are a football soccer fan, I'm curious, is the Champions League a step up from the Premier League? As an outsider, I feel like it is. Great question, that is. So, the Champions League, I would say, is different. I wouldn't say it's a step up. I would say it's different. Because the Premier League is the season, basically. So, trying to put it in it's hard to put it in American terms, because I don't think there's really anything you can compare it to in America. The Premier League is the competition that English clubs want to win. You want to win your league, because that's what you do week in, week out. Every week you're playing games in the Premier League. If you're Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, etc., you're playing every week in the Premier League. That is your league. You want to win it, right? And it's a massive trophy. It's, absolutely one of the biggest trophies you can win. The Champions League runs at the same time, but that is in the midweek. That's like on a Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And it's Europe. So if you win the Premier League, you're the best in England. If you win the Champions League, you're the best in Europe. So is it a step up? You would say yes. You would say yes, and it's a lot harder to win the Champions League. You know, Man United have won, I think it's like 20 Premier Leagues, but they've only ever won 3 Champions Leagues. So it gives you an idea. I think is Liverpool 19 leagues and 6 Champions Leagues. So again, it gives you an idea of how hard it is to win the Champions League compared to how hard it is to win the Premier League. Because the thing is that you'll be in the league every year, unless you get relegated, but you won't be in the Champions League every year. Like Man United are not in the Champions League next year. We didn't qualify. We didn't finish high enough to qualify this year. So we won't have a chance to win it next year, but we are in the Premier League. We do have a chance to win the Premier League next year. We won't, but we've got a chance. So is it a step up? It's a really hard one to answer, actually. It's a hard one to answer because the gut reaction is yes, because you're the best in Europe if you win the Champions League. But I feel that by saying yes, I'm sort of diminishing the Premier League, when the truth is people want to win the Premier League. The Premier League is really important. It's, I want to say just as important, but if someone was to say to me, I'm a Man United fan, do you want to win the Premier League or do you want to win the Champions League? I would take the Champions League. I would take the Champions League because that makes you the best in Europe, whereas the Premier League makes you the best in England. So I would take the Champions League, but I would want the Premier League as well at, some point, because that's your bread and butter. That makes you the best in the country, and that's a really important trophy to win as well. So they're both really, really important. They are the 2 most important things you can win as an English team. The two, if you said to Liverpool or Man United or Chelsea, or you said to Man City, or you said to Arsenal, or you said to Tottenham, what 2 trophies do you want to win? Out of all the competitions that you're in, League Cup, FA Cup, Charity Shields, blah, 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 blah. Of all the competitions, what 2 do you want to win? No doubt they would say Champions League, Premier League. They are the 2. They are the 2. So I would say that they're the 2 that are closest, but yeah, maybe Champions League just gets the nod. So be honest and truthful. Gen up. What's gen up mean? Do you see us winning the league again under Klopp more than twice? Will Liverpool win the league more than twice under Klopp? No. I genuinely don't think you'll win it more than twice. I think you'll win it again. I do think you'll win it again. Could you win it 2 more times? Yeah. Could you win it 3 times? No, I don't see that. I just think, Man City are going to be way too strong. You could pip Man City and win it this next year, right? But Man City will just come back harder. How are you going to shake them off? How are you going to go in? Because if you win it, say, under Klopp more than twice, that means that you've become the dominant team in England. How are you going to shake off Man City? How are you going to shake off Man City? I don't know how you would do that. Could you pip them? Sure. But I can't see you becoming the dominant team in England. But I could see you winning it again. I knew it was coming, that's what I told you. Not once, but twice, but 3 times. What's this? What's happening? I feel the opposite. It makes sense, though, as a United fan. You've won the Premier League many times. Liverpool fans would take the Premier League over it. Yeah, I think that it's a very close one. I can totally understand why people would take the Premier League over the Champions League. So as I said, that's your bread and butter. It's absolutely your week in, week out, and it's sort of like you want to be winning that, and then if you can get the Champions League, then that's the cherry on top in it. You know, if you can get both of them, that's the cherry on top. That's the double, isn't it? That if you win them both in the same season, you've done the double. If you win any 2 trophies, you've done the double, but that's the double. Those are the 2 to win. So any club that could win the Premier League and the Champions League have had, you know, one of the greatest seasons of all time. So I could understand why you're more Premier League. I don't think it's because Man United have won the Premier League so many times. I just think that, yeah, well, I mean, it's because I've only ever seen us win the Champions League twice. We won it in 99, we won it in 2008. And both of those are like 2 of the best nights of my life. Like, to see Man United win the Champions League was special. Before that, you've got to go all the way back to 1968. So, you know, 1968, then you've got 1999, then you've got 2008. So in my life, I've seen United win the Champions League twice, whereas I have seen them win the Premier League 13 times. So, yeah, if I had to choose, like, Champions League would be the one that I would go for. But I can totally understand people saying the other way. How have you been liking AEW these past few weeks, says Joshua? I've actually been enjoying it. I think there's some really good stuff that they're doing. I think there's some stuff that's a little bit so-so. I think that they are still growing. I think they're still learning and improving and still evolving. I think that getting someone like CM Punk is a massive step forward. Getting someone like Bryan Danielson is a massive step forward. They already had Moxley. Getting someone like Adam Cole has been a step forward, but we're at a stage now where I feel like we've got big names, but we've really got to use those big names. It feels a little bit like WCW in like 94. So WCW in like the early 90s had big names, but they weren't really close to where WWE were. And it wasn't until the NWO storyline kicked off that we, you know, things went doolally, things went crazy. And the whole Sasha Naomi thing is really interesting because I saw a picture doing the rounds, I'm sure you've seen it as well, of Sasha and Naomi, their faces put on top of the bodies of Hall and Nash. So, you know, when like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash came into WCW as the outsiders. So, again, I'm always aware there's going to be like people young and that have just come into wrestling. Maybe they are fans of AEW and they haven't really watched anything else before. So, there used to be a company, WCW, that was the rival of WWE in the 90s. And they had these 2 wrestlers come over from WWF, or WWE as it is now. They came over, and the way they presented them was really clever because they sort of made out that they were being invaded. You had these 2 well-known wrestlers, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, who was Diesel, and Razor Ramon in WWE. They sort of came over, and they pretended as if they were still a part of WWE. They sort of pretended that they were not signed with WCW. They were outsiders. They were invading. They were doing what they wanted to do. They were there to disrupt the program. And it was amazing. It was amazing. It's an amazing story to tell. You wouldn't get away with it really now because obviously there's so much online. There's so much behind the scenes information, so much that we know, like within the, like, we would know that they were going to arrive before they even arrived these days. Whereas back then, people were watching thinking this was really happening, that WWE was invading and that these wrestlers had come over. And it was amazing. Because that is a time before Twitter and before Dave Meltzer was a household name. You know, if you was subscribed to The Observer, then you was getting some heads up. But the average fan it wasn't. So the average fan would turn on their TV and they were just having to follow the story that was playing out on TV and make their own minds up as to what was actually happening. So it was a completely different time. And it was a better time, really, to be honest. I think if you was a fan of wrestling back then, I think it was better. I think Twitter really, and, not only Twitter, but social media in general, the way the dirt sheets have got more prominence, the way that there's now a lot more spoilers and rumours, and that whole side of wrestling is a side that I think has really taken away from wrestling. Really taken away. And I think also taking away the grey area around, is this real? Is this not real? The whole kayfabe thing. That was still there for me in the 90s. Because you had when I was young, I totally believed it. Totally believed it. I've got no problem admitting that. Totally believed everything I was seeing was real. But then as you get a little bit older and you start to notice some stuff and you have a few conversations with friends, you start to have those doubts. And eventually you're like, okay, I know what's happening now. And you sort of know what's happening. But still no one is confirming it. No one's like telling you for certain. Yeah, it is. Because the business was just protected. And there weren't shoot interviews. And there was no YouTube. And there was no wrestlers that were speaking out. I mean, maybe there were, but you weren't seeing it. Me, sat in England, I wasn't watching, wrestlers that had worked for Vince that had fallen out with him, shooting on what it was like behind the scenes. Like, that was not footage I was seeing. So you're kind of really just left to your own devices to believe whatever you are believing, and that's it. So it was an incredible time. It was a fantastic time. But the reason we're having this conversation is because it sort of feels like AEW is in that stage just before that happened. So you have all these big names, your Ric Flairs, your Hulk Hogans. You've got all this talent, your Stings, but they're still not getting close to where WWE are, or WWF at the time. Because it's like you've got the explosives, you've got the matches, but there's no spark. There's no spark, there's no flame, there's nothing to actually get this party started, But then as soon as you get the outsiders, we're off. Because that then leads to the NWO and, geez, Hogan's turn. Oh, my God. Hogan turning heel and the formation of the NWO. That's it. And then for 83 weeks in a row, consecutively, WCW get better ratings than WWE. So it feels like we've got these big names, but we're just missing that moment. And, if Sasha and Naomi were to walk in, if Sasha and Naomi were to invade, say we're in the middle of a match and all of a sudden the camera just cuts to the stage and out walks Sasha and Naomi, I wouldn't even play the music. I would just have them walk out there because I think just the shock and the reaction of the crowds and having like the wrestlers that are in the middle of a match just stop and turn and look as like Sasha and Naomi are on the entrance stage, that could be the spark that you need. And certainly if you can keep it quiet. Look, Sasha and Naomi would first of all need to leave WWE. They're still under contract. So WWE would have to let them go. That news would, in this day and age, would be out there. Then you would have to keep it quiet. If Sasha and Naomi are fired from WWE, everyone is going to expect them to go to AEW. Even if they're not, and even if Sasha's going to go off to Hollywood, everyone would still expect, every time there was a surprise, I've got some, a joker, everyone would be like, it's going to be Sasha. It's going to be Sasha. It's going to be Naomi. It's going to be Sasha. So, that expectation would be a bit of a problem. You'd need to try and make it as big as a surprise as possible. Which, WWE would not allow that to happen because the second that they are out of a WWE contract, WWE will tell you. WWE will do we wish Sasha and Naomi all the best in their future endeavors. And WWE will let you know they are no longer under a contract. So they will take that kind of element of surprise away. The only thing is then you don't know quite when, if or when they would come into AEW. But I think as soon as if that happens, where WWE make that announcement, everyone's going to expect them to go to AEW. And there's every chance that WWE won't let them go as well, because they won't want them to go to AEW. Simple as that. They won't want that moment. That moment could be the moment that the momentum is really with AEW, and, you know, boom. Because the truth is that we are around 900,000 on AEW Dynamite, and it's not budging. Like, they've brought in so many people, and they've done so much stuff, and I think the quality of the show is much improved from where it was, and I think it's in a really good place. But I think that also it's not nowhere near close enough. It's not like Dynamite is consistently 1.5 and Raw is 1.7, and they're like within striking distance. We're like, Dynamite's almost half of what Raw does. It's a long way off where Raw is, and Raw is the lowest viewed of the two big shows, because, I mean, you've got to get to like over 2 million to get to SmackDown. So I sort of feel that, I know, like, comparing between the two is, you know, just enjoy them all. That's the better way to look at it. Just enjoy AEW for what it is. The only thing I would say is, it is a little bit of a concern that you go out and spend X amount on CM Punk. You go out and you spend X amount on Adam Cole. You go out and you spend X amount on Bryan Danielson. You've already spending X amount on Jericho. You're already spending X amount on Moxley. You know, you're going out and you're bringing these people in. And where we are right now is 900,000. Like, the wage bill now compared to what the wage bill was when AEW started must be, I don't know, 5 times bigger, if not more. I mean, the wage bill must have exploded. If you think when they started, they were paying the likes of Jimmy Havoc and Joey Janela, Sonny Kiss. You know, these people are on the right. They ain't costing you Bryan Danielson money. They ain't costing you CM Punk money. You know, you got the Hardys as well now. Like, the wage bill has exploded, but the ratings haven't. But, you know, you've maybe had to spend that money to keep the ratings at a respectable level, because I'd say they're still respectable. I think like around 900,000 is still very, very good for a show that we're going to celebrate its 3rd year anniversary. It's still a baby. Do you know what I mean? Think about where WWE was after 3 years. It's still a baby. So you know, it's growing, it's improving. It's still got a long way to go. How you actually get it to explode, well, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? If anyone could answer that, you'd be, you know, Tony Khan's best friend. The most logical thing right now would be if he could get his hands on Sasha and Naomi. That would be the most logical thing. I would think that would be a way of really getting some interest. I feel like Sasha in particular is she's the type of star that they don't really have a Sasha. Sasha is someone that reaches young girls and is someone that really connects with an audience, a young audience, a casual audience. She would definitely be bringing over some of those casual fans. Her fan base is a fan base that I don't know is very engaged with AEW. But those Sasha stands are diehard as well. So you got to think, if Sasha goes to AEW, you're getting them Sasha stands. They ain't going to abandon her. So you know, you're getting an audience, a built-in audience that are not with AEW. And once you start getting those kids that think Sasha's cool, you know, that could be transformative for AEW. Because I don't know, they've got kids. You see kids dressing up as like Orange Cassidy, whatever. But I don't think they've got anyone on the scale of Sasha. Even CM Punk. I mean, CM Punk had been out of the game for so long that he had wrestling fans, but older wrestling fans, not young, vibrant, do you know what I mean, passionate, merch-buying wrestling fans. She hits a different demo, man. Same with Danielson. I don't think there's loads of kids that are coming over because of Danielson. I think a lot of the kids are into maybe like Orange Cassidy, maybe Danhausen might have got some interest, but they're not really bringing kids with them. They're just good for kids. Do you know what I mean? Kids that watch AEW will like them. I think if you're a kid that watches AEW, you'll like Danhausen. But Danhausen isn't necessarily bringing a fan base. Sasha would. Sasha would massively. Sasha really would. She'd be like, I mean, short of getting Roman, she'd be like one of the people you would look at and actively want to take. I mean, yeah, Sasha might be, from that point of view, like one of the biggest talents you could get from WWE. Just because of like how popular and vibrant her fan base is. So that could be transformative if they got it over the line. But, I mean, who knows? I wouldn't be surprised to see Sasha leave. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised to see her go. I think she's fed up. I mean, the report came out, didn't it, that she was upset already about not being in the title match at WrestleMania. And so now, it does make me smile when people say, like, that she's standing up to bad creative, because if the plans are what the plans were meant to be, or what I've heard they were, that is not bad creative to me. That doesn't seem like bad creative. It's not bad creative. It's just something Sasha didn't want to do. She didn't want to work in a main event program against the likes of Ronda. She wanted to do tag team wrestling instead. So I don't think it's bad creative. It's just not what Sasha wanted to do. It's not what Sasha wanted. So I do disagree with the whole bad creative angle. But yeah, I think she'd just got to the point where she'd had enough. I think that was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Sasha had enough. She was done. She didn't want to put up with it. It was not going to take much to push her over the limit, and that was what did it. That's the straw that broke the camel's back, basically. Because I think in isolation, it seems such a strange thing to walk out over. Such a weird thing to walk out over. But when you take it into context that there's probably been quite a few things recently that haven't gone away, then you can start to maybe see as to why she was in that headspace. We're not going to go down this road. I have not changed my opinion at all. Not a single fibre in my body thinks that it was the right thing for her to do, or that it was even acceptable. But I can understand. I can understand where she was mentally in order for her to think that's the only option she had. I can understand it. So, as I say, it's just how things had built up. So if that is true, there's no guarantee that she's now not in a different headspace. She now might still be in that headspace of, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to be in WWE anymore. If I stay in WWE, they're only going to keep doing what they're doing, which is not giving me the storylines I want. So, she could get fined, suspended, see that out, run out a contract. I think her contract was coming to an end anyway. And then, who knows? Would she go to even AEW? It depends how much Tony Khan's going to give her. Tony Khan would have to reach into his pocket, man. Big time. Because honestly, I could see her going into movies and doing Mandalorian and stuff like that. I think that's where she'll go. So if Tony wants her for AEW, he's gonna have to pay big to get her. So, Wrestler with Andy, hello, said, other than WWF in the 90s, do you prefer WCW or ECW? Probably WCW. ECW was not a promotion that was really I gave much time to. I'm not a big hardcore wrestling fan. I'm not into barbed wire for the sake of it. I don't mind that when it's needed, but it's not needed on the regular occurrence and regular basis that it was being used in ECW. Like, if you've got a feud and it's been going on for a while, and you've done like cage matches and all that kind of stuff, and it requires something a bit, more extreme, then I don't mind there being some barbed wire because these two people hate each other so much. But for me, it was always overdone. Everything was like overdone. Tables on tables, and do you know what I mean? Barbed wire, wrapped around sticks, wrapped around chairs, wrapped around fists, wrapped around the ring, tables set on fire. Like, it was always, they were always trying to do more and go bigger, and, you know, for me, I am very much that less is more. I am very much a less is more type person. Certainly when it comes to wrestling. You know, for me, my favorite type of ladder match is two people, one-on-one, just one ladder. Like, that might sound boring to people in this day and age, but for me, I think back to Shawn against Razor. They had one ladder in the entranceway. There may have been another that was, like, under the ring. I can't remember if a second was introduced. I don't think it was. I think there was just the one ladder that was set in the entranceway. There was no other weapons. There was no chairs. It wasn't like they were going crazy with other stuff. It was just two people trying to climb a ladder to get a belt. That was the whole point of it. And the one ladder was used as a weapon, and it was starting to buckle and bend. But that became part of the drama. Like, where it was buckling and bending and it wasn't standing right, you was watching going, that thing might fall over on its own. Like, is that even going to be stable enough to climb? But that added to it. It wasn't just a case of like, oh, I'm going to get another ladder now. I'll get a bigger ladder. Here's a bigger ladder. It was like, that was the ladder. That was the ladder. And that became part of the psychology for me. It's like, you can use it as a weapon, but what are you going to do if that ladder breaks? I mean, what do we do then? Because there wasn't like other ladders just lying around. You know, in this day and age, a ladder match is 6 people. It's multiple people. They tend to lie down on the outside for long periods of the match. You know, someone will climb and then someone will stop them all the time. I don't mind those matches. I don't mind those. I'm not like laying into them. I'm just saying that if I could choose, I would very much have a match that was just one-on-one and go that way instead. Less is more type thing. Right, AEW. What a way to start the show with a cage match. Steel cage opening the show. MJF is wearing a referee shirt. And it is white with Burberry stripes. White with Burberry stripes. So it's not white and black. It's white and Burberry. Here is Shawn Spears. Steel cage match to open the show. James said Days would absolutely hate CZW. I think I probably would, yeah. But just to go back to that answer, just to wrap it up. I have gone back and seen a couple of those like 90s ECW shows, and I was really impressed with actually how much wrestling was on it. I watched, we did a watch long for Barely Legal, and I mean, I just thought it was from start to finish going to be barbed wire, tables on tables, everything on fire, audience on fire, and it was just going to be like thumbtacks. It was going to be everything. I was really surprised at like how much wrestling there was. And then, yeah, of course, a couple of matches had those elements. But I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought. I was very much under the impression it was just non-stop. Just, you know, barbed wire tables, blah, 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 blah. The problem with that I have is that, I would become desensitized to it. Like, if you do it all the time, then it doesn't mean anything. That would be my issue with it. So, yeah, I probably would hate CZW, yes. But, I don't think it's a bad thing to know what you like. I ain't got nothing against it. Like, if people want to watch that, more power to them. Each to their own. I think the way to think of it is very much like, you know, pizza. What topping do you want? There's going to be toppings you like and toppings you don't. And the same with wrestling. It's going to be wrestling you like and there's probably wrestling you don't. Unless you're the type of person that likes all wrestling or likes all the different pizzas. When those people exist as well. So, there's no biggie. Here is Wardlow. That security guard next to him's got a good size. Wardlow making his way down, and he's still handcuffed. Is going to step inside this steel cage. The odds are stacked against him. Interesting cage. It's got a little bit of room just around the edge of the ring. It's a bit more like a... I was going to say it's a bit more like a cell, but I can't quite see it yet. There's not much room around it. In fact, the bit that you step into seems to be quite up against the ring. Wardlow is handcuffed, is asking MJF to take the handcuffs off. MJF doesn't have the key, and Shawn Spears is attacking. MJF says, ring the bell. Actually, I'm looking, I think this cage might be quite snug. I think this cage might be right up against the ring. We saw a cage match where it was Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa. That had space all around it. MJF is getting involved now. MJF is throwing in kicks to Wardlow. Nice strike by Shawn Spears. This is going to be awesome, says John. Cage is like a small cell without a top, said Master Chief. Honestly, I can't get a read of it. The Thunder Rosa one was. This one seems to be a little more snug. I don't know if you could walk around the outside of it. I don't know. I think you could fall down between the ring and the cage. I think there is a gap. But it's probably only a gap that you could stand sideways in. Against the rope, MJF and Shawn Spears both working together. MJF has completely abandoned being an official in this match. As they're beating up Wardlow. Wardlow is down. They've got their own style, which is good. They use two different cages in AEW. One for TV and one for premium. Big boot by Wardlow. Shawn Spears going down. MJF coming over into the middle. Yeah, MJF's like, go on, hit me, hit me. He's quite happy to disqualify Wardlow. He spits in his face. Wardlow breaks the handcuffs. Clotheslines by Wardlow. Hurling Shawn Spears into that cage. Throws him over on the other side as well. So he's managed to break those handcuffs apart now, and we seem to have a kind of match. Looks like we're underway. MJF not getting involved anymore. MJF watching as Shawn Spears is climbing the cage. Wardlow's climbing the cage as well. Both on the top rope. Straight to the back of the head by Wardlow. And again. Shawn Spears hurled back into the ring. Wardlow up top in the corner. Oh, Swanton. Whoa, goes for the pin. MJF went to count it, but instead he just stares and laughs at Wardlow. So MJF went to count it, but instead just smiled in Wardlow's direction. Is Orton legitimately injured? If so, for how long for? I believe he probably is. I mean, I haven't actually heard anything about the injury, but I believe that he's injured. But he's also rumoured to be a future opponent for Roman. So I think he's probably away for a month or so. And then I could see him coming back and working a program with Roman. 1, 2, shoulder up by Wardlow. Really quick count there by MJF as Shawn Spears had Wardlow down. Spears must die. How are you? Do you see any surprises at Double or Nothing? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know who they could bring in as a surprise that would be that exciting. I mean, Bray, if you could go and get Bray, that would be the big one. Short of Bray, I mean, you can't get Sasha, you can't get Naomi. No offense to anyone else that's been released. Maybe Johnny Gargano would be a big deal. Maybe Johnny and Candice would certainly get the wrestling world talking. But I can't see them coming in. I think they genuinely are, with their kid at the moment. Living the family life together at the moment. So, I don't know. I can't see that one. That would be a big deal if they could get him, though. Paige would be good, but I think she's still under WWE contract, even though she can't compete. Chair shot by Shawn Spears. And Wardlow moves out the way. MJF goes down. Shawn Spears just cracks MJF with a chair. That's not going to go down well. So, Shawn Spears did just leave the cage to go and get this chair. I guess that means then that leaving the cage is not a thing. Wardlow rises behind Shawn Spears. Yeah, it is true. The door has not been locked. The door wasn't locked. Shawn Spears left the cage. Normally in a cage, if you walk out, you just win the match. Powerbomb. Couple of power bombs in a row. Looking for another, and he gets it. A powerbomb symphony. The crowd all on their feet. They're loving the opening match at the moment. Wardlow getting fired up. Here is another referee. Shawn Spears is still down. Johnny was on Sammy's vlog on Tuesday. They mentioned a match together. I said 3 times it was missed. Okay. I still don't think he's coming in. But that's interesting to know. Powerbomb onto a chair. 1, 2, 3, and Wardlow gets it done. Wardlow gets the 3 count. And the crowds are loving this story. It's very good. MJF is still down after being smashed in the head with a chair. Wardlow grabs MJF's lifeless body. He was about to do a powerbomb symphony on him, but instead we've got all these security guards coming in one by one. Why are they all just running? I don't understand. Johnny and Candice aren't going to come back this year. They've confirmed, says Moldy. Got him up. Hurls that security. Oh my god! My god, that's amazing. So he picks up the one security guard, hurls him against the cage. The guy falls down and he goes between the cage and the ring. We were talking about how much space there was. That one security guard got hurled against the cage. Just ends up falling down between the ring and the cage. He's gone. He's gone forever. He's slipped into like a Narnia-type world. As Wardlow... yeah, that was a cool spot, man. R.I.P. that guy. That was bad. I hope he's alright. That was bad. Bad in an amazing way, though. Picked up that guy, hurled him against the cage. The cage, buckles. Because the cage moves a little bit, that gap at the bottom is kind of extended. Just a touch. The guy just goes straight down. And he's got... That's it. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone under the ring. Hole in one for the security. Bye-bye, security guards. It's amazing. That was amazing. That was brilliant. That spot was brilliant. I just hope the guy's all right. I just hope he's all right. What about Bray? Yeah, well, I don't... Personally, I don't see him coming in. He's doing films and all of that. But, I mean, you never know. You never know. I mean, that would be a massive one. He's clearly outside of the non-compete now. I mean, it's, you know, we're sneaking our way towards it being... It must be coming up to being 12 months, mustn't it? So, crazy, though. Truth be told, I don't care anymore who goes where. I just want good wrestling all round, says Jilly. Yeah, it's a good point. Good point. Very good point. One of those security guards faced Via not long ago. Anna, hello. Hope you are well. Master Chief said that spot with the guard was worth it. 5-star night, 10 out of 10 show. That security guard transported to the metaverse. Yeah, man. That was a hell of a spot. I don't even know if it was planned that way or if he was meant to just kind of fall onto the edge of the ring, but he kind of hits against the cage, and when he slides down, he goes straight down, and it's such a good-looking spot. It's such a good-looking spot. I don't know. I don't know if that was planned or not. I really don't know. It was damn cool. I know that much. It was damn cool. Praying for that last security guard. That'll be all over social media right now. It's a really, really fun spot. Really fun. We are at commercial break right now. They're obviously going to have to take the cage apart. So we are at commercial break. It's a shame, actually, because like normally we tend to see during the breaks on Fight TV. And actually, this is one I'd be interested to watch. I'd be interested to watch now as they're like undoing the cage, seeing how quickly they're doing it. See how many people are working on it. See if that security guard's all right and everything. So I'd actually like now to see what they were doing, but I've just got an AEW graphic on screen. He fell into a rabbit hole. He did. Eric said someone needs to clip that and put some sound effects on. Oh, that'll be all over Botchamania. You know people will do that. I am praying for the kids in Texas, says Malik. Yeah. Awful news. Awful. I think the guard's name was Josh Fuller. Some might know him from DPW, says Minty. Nice of Tony Khan to send a new ref, considering Wardlow beat up his security for months. We're backstage with the Jericho Appreciation Society. So we got Jas backstage. It was a producer in a Moxley shirt. Ah, Jericho with the fire. Jericho, they said, do you know what happens if you're a John Moxley fan? And Jericho with the fireball. Jericho says you get a fireball to the face because I'm a wizard. Jericho in shape going back to WWE, says Jason. I don't think so. I don't think so. Right, we've got Hangman and CM Punk face-to-face coming up next. Hangman and CM Punk. It's supposed to be a Storm Canadian. Oh, here's Tony. So, we are in Vegas. It does have a big feel to it tonight. Hangman. CM Punk. It's not a bad way to... do you know what? He's gone big at the start of the show, hasn't he? We've started with the cage match. We've then had a Jericho backstage segment. And now we're going into CM Punk and Hangman. We've gone big. We've gone big here. CM Punk making his way out is wearing a Mutants shirt. Nothing political this week. Takes a seat at the top of the entrance ramp. CM Punk wrestling is still crazy to me, says Minty. PG Punk, says Shola. Jason said CM Punk's going to be a new champion. I actually hope Punk takes the titles, says Erasure Minds. Looks like they might have just raised the cage, actually. Just looking at it. Either way, that guy has been freed now, which is good. Good for him and his family. Punk stepping inside the ring. Lone Star Friend said, I really hope Hangman wins, but I doubt it. I think Hangman's going to get his entrance now. Punk is wearing a Mutants Fiend shirt. Is that what it is? That'll get people talking if it's... Dun, dun. Is it known as Fiend? I must admit, him wearing that shirt isn't unusual. Does it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there's any Fiend connections with that shirt. That would be interesting to know, though. But, you know, he has teased things before. I'm just looking on Twitter. Right, it's just interviewing... It's people saying CM Punk with the Misfits Wolverine shirt. I'm not seeing anything about Fiend. Okay, CM Punk addressing the crowd. He said, I'm excited to walk in as the challenger, and I will be walking out as the champion. People are loving the shirt. Tony would be an idiot if he doesn't put the belt on Punk, says Rom, before Forbidden Door. Ledge Killer, hello. CM Punk says, I don't know why you're taking this so personal. You hold that gold for a reason. This is just business to me. This is not personal. I've said before, this feud feels a bit more to me like it is a proper CM Punk feud. I like it because I don't feel like this has got anything to do with, can CM Punk still go? Can he still compete? Can he still wrestle? They need to put the title on Punk to get the ratings up, says Jason. Jay said, I'm not the biggest Hangman fan, so I'm hoping Punk picks up the win on Sunday. Heather says, yes, Punk put Hangman over. Jeremy, AEW is going to sign a contract with HBO Max and stream Ring of Honor and AEW. Is that true? Is that true? Okay. Bit of fire from Hangman. Right here in Vegas. CM Punk chants from the crowd. CM Punk not moving, not doing anything. Okay, Hangman. It's a bit weird. Hangman says that he wants to come out and he wants to, like, you know, go off on CM Punk, but he said, I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. Not because I'm scared, but I just don't want to go down to your level. Hangman just doesn't have the right story right now, says Alexis. Paige trying to talk like Punk comes off sounding wrong, says Larry. Definitely feels off. You just know that CM Punk will get the microphone and just say something and the crowd will be like, wah! It's another example, really, of someone taking up quite a bit of, like, promo time, but not really using it to say anything. He's got heated up at the end. He did well at the end of it. I don't know why you're so angry. You're talking in circles. If you're so upset that I'm here, you're going to have to do something about it on Sunday. Those roads that you travelled to get here, they were paved by me. Punk is full of himself, says Lone Star Friend. Punk already put Paige in his place, says Larry. Paige has no character since he quit playing the alcoholic, says Cliff. I gave you the blueprint, says CM Punk. You'll shake my hand on Sunday, and in fact, you'll shake my hand right now. CM Punk puts his hand out, wants to shake the hand of Hangman Page. Shake my hand. Little push there by CM Punk. And big right hand by Hangman. CM Punk goes down. CM Punk goes down. Crowd making some noise. They're into it. Punk is awesome at this. Do you know, he was standing there. Punk was standing there as Hangman was kind of going a little bit around the houses with his promo. And it just felt like CM Punk was the one that was in control. He wasn't even doing anything. He was just standing there and he had a little kind of expression on his face. And he was just staring, but because he wasn't really saying anything or reacting, or it just felt like he was in control of the moment. As Hangman was kind of going a little bit around the houses. He did bring it back towards the end though. But yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. I feel like you could definitely spend quite a bit of time breaking that down and talking about that story, because for me that story is quite interesting. I think that CM Punk this feels like a feud that I'm not watching it thinking to myself, is he good enough for this level? Can he win the title? Like, is there a bit of ring rust? I feel like the ring rust, him being back story has run its course. That's done. This is now CM Punk, the wrestler. Yes, he's back. We're over that. This is him in a proper match, in a proper feud, going for the title. And I really like that. And I feel that Hangman is also a champion that CM Punk could absolutely get a victory over. It's not like he's taking on Roman Reigns or someone that you'd just be like, oh, I'm not sure he's going to get the win here. But I quite fancy him to, get the job done against Hangman. Hangman's title reign has not been... It's not really connected with the AEW fans like when he was chasing the belt. I kind of feel that they might look at it and think, let's pull the trigger. They might think that. So there's definitely intrigue there as well as to which way it's going to go. Jericho coming out now. We've got the Jericho Appreciation Society. Imagine if Kenta costs Punk at Double or Nothing and then they fight at Forbidden Door. That's a good shout. Jeremy said Britt could be the one to break Jade's streak. John said, why do people like Hangman? I don't get him. I think the way they built him up, he was always seen as like the kind of younger brother really in the elite. You had Kenny that was the leader. You had the Bucks that were like flamboyant and obviously, one of the best tag teams. And then you had Hangman who was like solid, dependable, likable. He was kind of, the guy in the background that did the dirty work, got his hands dirty, and people just like took a shine to him and wanted to see him succeed as well. And he's had success, it's not that he hasn't been successful, but to go on and be a top champion, a world champion like that, that's something that they kind of really spent a couple of years, maybe even longer than that, building him up for. And they did a great job. I mean, it definitely got to a fever pitch where the fans were demanding, they were desperate to see Hangman get that belt. But it's a bit like Veer. Like how Veer, people were desperate to see Veer make his debut. And then when he did debut, the interest just completely died. And Veer just feels like someone else now. I mean, it's just like another guy on the roster, not really anything that special. I would say it's been a little bit similar with Hangman. They spent a long time building him up. I think there are still fans of Hangman, but I think that kind of fever pitch has very much settled down. But it was always going to. Same with Veer as well. It was always going to. You was never going to be able to maintain that. It happened with Daniel Bryan. I mean, there was an urge, a desire, a desperation to see Daniel Bryan win the title. at WrestleMania 30, and as soon as he did, that settled down as well. So, it's not like Hangman's fault. It's just got to be really careful with how you book him, how you use him. Well, I don't mind this feud with CM Punk. I don't mind this feud at all. Right, it's not Blackpool Combat Club. It is Moxley and Kingston versus Private Party. Right, we've got the Jericho Appreciation Society out. According to this, we were meant to have Regal on commentary as well. I don't believe he's out there. Is he? Oh, he is out there. Oh, I didn't see Regal coming out. I missed Regal coming out. Okay, we've got Regal and Jericho. How many toothbrushes do you reckon he's got up his bottom right now? All of them. All of them. Right, we are underway with this match. Hangman has not been a good AEW champion, says Toni. A botched bomb, says Erasure Minds. Page deserved the title. He's been elevated to the top of the roster. It's okay to take the title off him now, though, says Jeremy. Hangman struggles with his promos. You can't have a champion that can't talk, says Jilly. Unknown time for Rampage on Friday. It all depends on the NHL playoffs. Double or Nothing might change start times depending on Game 7. Well, thankfully we've got nothing else on Sunday, so whatever time it starts, we'll be doing it. So it is my plan to get that stream set up maybe tonight if I can get round to it. I'll try and do it tonight. I love how Regal calls Excalibur the man in the mask. I like that from Regal. Regal says, I know everything about you, Jericho. And I know that bothers you because I'm the only person here in AEW that knows all about you. Of course, their relationship goes back a long, long way. Every move you make, I've already thought about it. Man, I wish... Did he just call them toss-pots? I wish Regal could still go, man. I'd love to see one more Regal match. I actually don't know what Regal's final match was. I know that he did have some in NXT, but I honestly can't remember what the final one was. I seem to recall him having a match against Cassius Ohno. I wonder if that was his final match. I don't think there's a need or even a desire for him to have one in AEW. I've got a desire to see it, but I don't want to see it because his health is so bad. But it's such a shame because imagine if like Regal could go and we could get like Regal Jericho in AEW. That'd be really cool. Cloverleaf by Moxley. AEW tried to build stars with long-term storyline and lines, and that's what sets them apart, in my opinion, says Luke. Shawn said William Regal still can wrestle. He just chooses not to. Can he? I know he's got bad health. He's had like heart. Well, saying that, I mean, Ric Flair's had heart trouble. But I know there's been quite a few times where Regal's not been around in like NXT, and there's been reports of bad health, and he had pretty bad substance abuse. I think his body is just held together by prayers and good wishes. Nice German suplex. So, Moxley in the ring. Apparently, we were just at a commercial break. I would like to see Regal take Jericho and tie him in knots, says John. Dragon Den said, I find it funny when people talk about promos, like Kenny was this amazing talker. He was beep, and he could do acrobatics, and that is it. It looks fake, says Dragon Den. Kieran said, Regal's last match was against Cesaro. Was it? Well, Antonio Cesaro, so would that be in NXT? Regal versus Flair versus Hogan. Bucket says Wrestle with Andy. Yeah, is that now confirmed that it's going to be Flair and Hogan in that match? Honestly, I mean, I was excited for Flair Steamboat, but I'm totally down for seeing Flair and Hogan if it does go that way. Yeah, Chuck William Regal in that triple threat. Death match. I mean, it might literally... it might literally be a death match with them three. Private Party going for the pin. Surprised Jericho hasn't said Regal wants some tea, says Larry. Yeah. His last match was against Sami Zayn. I remember he revealed it in a podcast. Oh, we've got conflicting reports now. So what, he said his last match was against Sami Zayn. That's a pretty cool last match. Right. Elbows to the side of the head by Moxley. I'd like to watch it, actually. I'd like to watch Regal's last match. Maybe, for Regal to have competed, I'm guessing it would have been on an NXT. I don't think it would have been at a house show. Paradigm shift. 2, 3. Moxley gets the pin and the win. James said, I've got no interest in watching Ric Flair wrestle again. Wow. And you watched literally everything? Literally everything. That's amazing. Strikes by Jericho. Throwing in some shots on Moxley. Jericho Appreciation Society coming down. Here's Danielson. Santana and Ortiz come down. Yeah, they're there. Let's go. I didn't see Santana and Ortiz, but they've come down as well. Aubrey's down there. Aubrey's trying to stop Jericho from using the chair. There's a big brawl. William Regal said this is going to be an all-out, all-encompassing war. The Wizard is in the ring. He's got his arms in the air. They are brawling. On the outside, there's a big cheer. I don't know why. Someone grabbed a table. I think Kingston's grabbed the table. Aubrey trying to get Jericho out the ring. They grab the table from the timekeeper's area. Jericho has gone over. I don't even know what he's doing now. There's a table that's been flipped over. Danielson is down in the ring. He's still holding on to his leg. I think they are using Danielson getting his leg caught between the ring and the ramp as a bit of a storyline now. They did actually show the footage on the show. So, a little bit of a limp there for Danielson. I would rather watch Bryan versus Jericho than the tag match on Sunday. Jeremy says his final match was Cesaro in 2013. That makes sense. I can't remember if I saw him wrestle a match when I got the network. That would have been 2015. So, yeah, 2013. I can believe that. I got a feeling, though, that he has a match with Cassius Ohno. Which, if someone had asked me what was his last match, I would have said that. But I can totally believe that a Sami Zayn or a Cesaro had a match with him after that. But yeah, I know he did have some matches in NXT. More when it was like first starting. Being like a proper weekly show. Regal's last match on TV was Cesaro. He said his final match was Sami. That was a Dubai tryout match. Oh. So his last TV match is Cesaro, NXT 2013. His actual last match is a tryout match against Sami Zayn, which we don't get a chance to see. Damn. So he hasn't wrestled for 8 years. Damn. He's probably not going to wrestle in AEW then, is he? I mean, in all fairness, I wasn't expecting him to, but I would love to see one more. You know, him being like an old master. I kind of feel that Regal is at that level. I feel that Regal now is so well respected and is seen as like such a great, pure, technical wrestler that he's a bit like one of those old masters. He's like the great Muta. He's like someone that can like stretch you out and is like, yeah, I'd love to see one more. But I mean, it's not going to happen. And actually, I don't want to see it, what with him, you know, in his bad health. But I do want to see it as well. I want to see that Cesaro match. That's what I want to see. I want to try and find that Cesaro match. William said, I've got a lucrative business idea that will literally make us trillionaires. I'm scared to ask what it is, to be honest, but feel free to let me know. I don't know if I want to know. If Regal did have a match, who would you want it to be against, says James? Look, he's an old... If he could, he's an old master. So it would need to be... I mean, it couldn't be against a high flyer. A high flyer that's flying all over the place just ain't going to work. It's hard, man, actually. Hard to think. Someone like Darby doesn't feel right. Someone like MJF might make sense. The reason why MJF might make sense is because I could see MJF saying about how William Regal's an old man. Imagine if you did MJF against Bryan Danielson. And MJF being such a heel demands that he's like, well, how about the MJF is the champ, right? Danielson wants to face MJF for the title. MJF's like, sure, you can have a title shot, but no problem. One stipulation. If you want a match with me, I want a match with Regal. So if you want to come for my title, you're going to have to allow me to wrestle William Regal. Like that. And Danielson could be like, no, you know, I'm not going down that road. No way. You're not healthy and all this. And William Regal could be like, you can see him thinking about it. And then I like the idea of William Regal like getting into the ring and MJF thinking it's going to be a walk in the park. And then William Regal starts stretching him. William Regal starts looking really good. I really like that. And MJF would get the win in the end. But I love the idea that he thinks he's going to get one over William Danielson and William Regal, and Regal starts stretching him. That could be really fun. It reminds me a little bit of Miz and Jerry Lawler. So, do you remember when Miz defended his title against Jerry the King Lawler and he thought it was going to be easy? And then Jerry Lawler almost won the championship. It's such a good match, actually. There's a ladder match from, I think it was Raw, and it was Miz against Jerry Lawler. This is around when Lawler has his match with Michael Cole, because Michael Cole actually distracts Jerry Lawler and prevents him from winning the title. And that then builds towards them facing each other at WrestleMania. So, obviously, it's around when Miz is champion. It's around when, I want to say, like, 27, maybe? WrestleMania 27-ish. And it's Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler. It's really good. Really, I haven't seen that match maybe since it aired. But that was a bit similar, where Miz thought it'd be a walk in the park and he almost loses his belt. David said, I remember that. Yeah, it's good. Really good. Right, we've got Roppongi Vice. We're 50 minutes into this show. We're not too far away from halftime scores. FTR. Tell you, these have been big segment after big segment after big segment. We've had Jericho. We've had CM Punk. We've had Hangman. We've had Steel Cage match with MJF. We've got FTR right now. Roppongi Vice. Oh my god. Oh my god. FTR is better that they got rid of WWE, says Grim Reaper. Esteban said this is gonna slap. Macarai said, do you think CM Punk beats Hangman? I really don't know, to be honest. I think it's a tricky one to call because I understand that people want CM Punk to be champion because it would be a big deal. I think it's going to be good as you head in towards Forbidden Door. I think that their ratings have been a little bit stale, but that's due to the NBA. That's not really anything to worry about at this stage. But they are going to need something to, wake things up again. Whether you do that now, like this weekend, or wait a bit longer, I really don't know. I mean, you might want to get past the NBA playoffs. I don't know when they end, but you might want to get past all of them before you actually make a move like this. Because you could put the belt on CM Punk, and then still your rating's going to suffer because of the NBA. So I could see an argument for doing it, but I can see an argument for waiting. And also, look, if Hangman wins, it's a big win for Hangman. It's a big, big win for him. And that could work wonders for his title reign. So you can see an argument for Punk. You can see an argument for Hangman. I think it's very close. It's hard to know which way they're going to go, to be honest. It's hard to know what I would do. I think I would have Hangman win. I think I would have Hangman win. I would look to see when the NBA playoffs are ending. As soon as we get towards them finishing, and because they have hurt ratings, no denying that. They've hurt WWE as well. And once we get to the end of that, then I want to do something that's going to really wake everyone up to AEW again. Like, guys, we're here. You might have forgot about us during the NBA playoffs, but we're here. And one of the ways you could do that is by crowning a new champion. If CM Punk wins his first wrestling world title since, God, can't even remember the year in WWE. We're going back easy, 8 years plus, 9 years. His first world title in 9 years or whatever. That is going to be a talking point, isn't it? That's going to be a talking point. If you do it now, don't know, does it get buried a little bit? Do the ratings maybe not jump up as much as they would once you're past the NBA playoffs? So I would be like, when do the NBA playoffs end? Okay, what have we got around that time? Maybe I look to do the rematch. Maybe I give Hangman this win, but it's a bit dubious. And maybe I do a rematch down the road and Punk gets it there. Aren't these two both faces? What's the purpose? Do they hate each other? When did Roppongi Vice get this opportunity? There's so many questions. There are a lot of throwaway dream matches, says Dragon Den. I don't really know what the opportunity is. I know they're Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, but I don't know if the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles are on the line. And to be honest, even if they are, those Ring of Honor belts just don't feel like anything important. I think there's too many belts in AEW. I think that is this an opportunity? I don't know. Jurassic Express are the AEW Tag Team Champs, and I think it's really important that they are seen as the team. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to kind of look at it and go, well, these guys are the Ring of Honor champs. This is an opportunity as well. But I think that's why, like, there's too many belts. This shouldn't really be an opportunity. This shouldn't really be anything that's necessarily a big deal. I mean, I understand it is because FTR are maybe the best tag team. Roppongi Vice are obviously well respected, but Jurassic Express should be seen as undoubtedly the kings of the tag division right now. But I think they're definitely suffering a little bit at the moment because Jungle Boy keeps having they keep having solo match. I think Jungle Boy's in a singles match tonight. But in all fairness, that is to build for the triple threat this weekend. I don't know, they just don't seem to be in the big stories or get the big spotlight. Or I know Jungle Boy has had a few singles matches. I think last match I remember was him being in the Owen Hart tournament and just falling short. So that was obviously him trying, to do some from a solo point of view. I probably wouldn't have had him in it. I probably would have just tried to find a way of building them up as the tag champs and knee strike to the midsection. FTR are winning this one, says David. Let me remove the message at the top. Hopefully golden eggs. We feed breakfast to the homeless. We charge homeless people for it. We then sell homeless people's toes for drugs and then do all the drugs and repeat. Sounds perfect. Sounds foolproof. Right, we've got these guys. Rocky Romero is down. He's trying to make the tag. Cash trying to get over to Dax. We are 3 minutes away from halftime. John said the cage match should have been the main event. Nothing is going to top MJF getting hit with the chair. That was a cool spot. That was definitely a cool spot. And that guy falling down the side as well. That was cool. I don't actually know what's going to main event. I don't know if it'll be might be the Owen Hart matches, mightn't it? Might be like Britt and Toni, and it might be Samoa Joe and Kyle O'Reilly. Right, we've got Dax down. Heather said, to be honest, I love Jurassic Express, but it has been a weak title reign. It was an audible for when Phoenix got hurt. Ah. That's interesting. Yeah, I wish they were booked a bit stronger, and the spotlight was on them a bit more. Does feel like FTR are the team that should have the AEW tag titles at the moment. Duck underneath. Another German by Dax. Rocky Romero comes in. Stomp to the midsection. This is poor booking on Tony's part. The AEW tag champs do feel less important than the Ring of Honor ones on AEW's flagship show, says Dragon Den. Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I think that I think we're probably all largely in agreement that FTR feel like the bigger tag team. Knee strikes and Dax goes down. I also think it's easily resolved, though. They just need that spotlight, don't they? They just need that regular presence to be in some engaging feuds. We know they're good enough. I mean, Jungle Boy's a fantastic wrestler. I enjoy watching him compete. Luchasaurus seems a bit more limited, but for a big guy, he can move. And they're very popular with the crowd as well, so I don't think they're like a bad team or anything. I don't think they're like, you know, the wrong choice as champions necessarily, but they do need to be booked a bit stronger. Rocky Romero is on the top. Little roll up here by Dax. 2. Kick out by Trent. Picked up. Oh, inside cradle. 1. Oh. Reversals. Back and forth. Trent up. Victory roll. Don't see victory rolls too often. Swing and a miss there by Dax. Both fighters ducking underneath. One, 2. Oh, 2 count for Roppongi Vice. Oh, is that Jeff Cobb? Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan? Damn, I didn't recognise Great O'Khan. But Jeff Cobb running down. We've seen Jeff Cobb in AEW before. Holy shiz, chance. Are they both still in the Osprey stable? That is it. What's it called? Empire? Summit Empire. Jeff Cobb making his way down. Great O'Khan as well. Oh God. I love Cobb, says Minty. United Empire, says Heather. United Empire. Headbutt by Cobb. Powerbomb to FTR. So this feels like we're definitely building to Forbidden Door. Yeah, I mean, this match has completely fallen apart now. The United Empire. They are Osprey's goons. Ribby said that was such a sick finishing move. Oh, God, that table's just been absolutely decimated as well. These two look great. Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb go and grab the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. Yeah, these two look really cool. That's cool. I like it. Botch through the table, says Rivy. United Empire versus FTR for the titles at Forbidden Door. Yeah, get in your halftime scores. Get in your halftime. We are a few minutes past it, and we never quite know when it's going to be because they don't always have a commercial break, but bang on the halftime. But we've got Hardys speaking. Get in your halftime scores. Let me just hear what the Hardys are saying. It's the Elite versus the Delete. We were good kids. We didn't smoke. We didn't drink. We didn't do drugs. We broke into the industry in the early 90s. It was a different industry and a different culture. Matt Hardy says, you two don't have the grit, you don't have the fortitude. 525 says Shakeem. 9 says Larry. No D-Bat 10 says Minty. Rivy with a 7.19. 1 Minute Wrestler says 7. To Heel with 7.5. Jason, shout out to you. Legend Killer with a 7. Sosco says, thank God Kenny Omega isn't there. Doppelganger 7. Sunny, hello. Delete. Elite, says John. David said, I'm at a 6 out of 10. Crazy Cheech is 6.5. William is still asking about homeless people. Fair play. 6.25 Jericho. Fireballs in the face, says John. Fire easy 8.5. Estimate 8.5. Ledge Killer with a 7. Austin with a 7 as well. Some bit of a mixed bag coming through, but largely positive. Hardy's here saying that we have been better than you at every stage. You might be the elite. We are the delete. It's nice. They always say don't meet your heroes because you'll be disappointed. But in your case, Young Bucks, you won't be able to beat your heroes. Right, here is Starks. Ricky Starks making his way out. So, I think this is that triple threat we were just talking about, actually. This is going to be Jungle Boy versus Swerve versus Starks. 8.5. Didn't we see this before? What, this triple threat? Can't remember. I can't remember seeing this before. For the love of Pete, the Bucks have got to put them over, says Heather. This is going to be fun, says Minty. Here's Swerve. Swerve Strickland. His AEW record is 6 wins and 3 losses. There's a lot of dancing in the crowd. Crowd are feeling it. I like his attire. He looks cool. Swerve's house. Swerve looks cool. I get a different vibe off Swerve than I do from a lot of other people in AEW. Here we go then. Tag champs coming out. Here's Jungle Boy with obviously Christian. Luchasaurus as well. Pyro going off for Jungle Boy. AEW record. 78 wins. 38 losses and 1 draw. Jeez. I've not seen Bucks Hardys several times. Oh, I've seen Bucks Hardys several times in Ring of Honor, so it's not a dream match for me, says James. Jim said Young Bucks have a win over the Hardys and for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles at that, and the night after the Hardys returned to WWE. Serge says, but does he like playing video games? It's an excellent point. How am I meant to feel close and connected to these wrestlers if I don't know if they enjoy playing video games and like scary movies or not? Ricky Starks getting out of the ring, chatting with someone in the front row. Ricky Starks on the outside. Master Chief said Jungle is so popular. Swerve is cool, says Dragon's Den. William, full of great ideas at the moment. He must be feeling very creative right now. But William, shout out to you. Roll up here by Jungle Boy. Kick out by Starks. Inside, little small package by Swerve. All three are inside the ring. We've got 50-odd minutes left of the show. Still got an interview with Thunder Rosa. We've got Samoa Joe against Kyle O'Reilly. Toni Storm is taking on Dr. Britt Baker. We've got... that might be it, actually. Just looking, everything. We've kind of got through everything else. So those two matches and that interview, and obviously we've only just started with this match as well. Keep up by Jungle Boy. I want to see Danielson versus Gresham and Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr., says James. That was a good sequence, says Heather. Starks on the outside with Jungle Boy. That's nice. I do like that from Starks. He got thrown into the corner, but he avoided the ring post. He slid. That's nice. Jumps down and lands on Swerve. Talking some trash to someone in the front row. Hurls Swerve into those railings. Those railings will always make me nervous. Seeing those railings move as people are sat there. Yeah, Swerve Starks got thrown into the corner. He actually slid under the rope, ran round, and then managed to attack. Very slick. Very smooth. He's trying to do, look at that, he's doing a delayed standing vertical suplex. He had Jungle Boy up and he was kind of like having a good time. Showing off his strength. Jungle Boy with a shot to the midsection of Starks. Starks with a big forearm. I don't know. Are we at commercial break now? Because the pace of this has slowed. We might be at commercial break. We've got Starks up in the corner. Walking on that top rope. Again, doing a bit of showing off. Why doesn't Jungle Boy just pull him off? Just... And again, we've got some posing. He is so much more expressive than when he was in NWA. He really takes time now to pose and to bring the audience in the match. His expressions are so much bigger. It feels like he's seasoned a little bit more. Double axe handle to the back there by Swerve. Starks in the corner. Back elbow by Swerve. Starks hurls Swerve out the ring. Goes over. Grabs Jungle Boy. AEW pay-per-view, they should have Baltimore perform his song for Jungle Boy, says Larry. Well, I'm sure Tony Khan will go, does tend to go bigger for those shows. Double or Nothing's a big one as well. I'd say nothing's off the table. Might even get some more New Japan interference, actually. We just saw Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan. Wonder if there's a chance of seeing more New Japan stars at Double or Nothing. Could really set up Forbidden Door. Kick there by Swerve. Starks goes down. Jungle Boy head scissor takedown on Swerve. Swerve goes to the outside. Sonny Kiss went under. I thought Sonny Kiss had gone. Just says the results from Dark. Lever Bates. I thought Lever Bates had gone as well. There's a few people that are still in AEW that I thought had gone. Where is Hobbs? And why isn't he the TNT champion? Well, he's good friends with Starks. They're in the same Team Taz, aren't they? So... I mean, he's not out there. No one's out there. He could interfere. I'd imagine we will see all the tag partners coming down at the end. But Luchasaurus isn't out there, to my knowledge. It's Keith Lee, isn't it, with Swerve? So, yeah, I could see all of them coming down after. But right now, it's Starks that's been FTR champ. He's been FTR champ for ages as well. But it's probably the closest thing they've got to like a 24/7 championship. Not with the rules, but just how much it means. Just doesn't really mean anything, does it? Starks gets pushed to the outsides. Sonny Kiss and Peter Avalon are seemingly still with AEW. Yeah, I was quite surprised. I really thought Peter Avalon had. I thought both had gone, to be honest. But they still managed to get wins on Dark this week. Swerve in the ring with Jungle Boy then. Oh, Ricky Starks comes in. Big boot to Swerve. Enziguri misses by Jungle Boy. Super kick by Swerve. Jungle Boy goes down. Nice little roll through. That's nice by Swerve. Picks up Jungle Boy. Spear by Starks! That was done really well. Kick by Jungle Boy. That was done really well. Oh, lovely driver. Lovely driver by Starks. Swerve makes the save. A botch can be used as a spot, says Ron. Tarek said, are you excited for the Champions League? Who do you think will win? I can't say I'm particularly excited. I don't have a dog in the fight, so do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter to me who wins. I want Liverpool to win because I would rather the Champions League come back to England and be with an English team. And as I've said before, like, I see Real Madrid as a Man United rival as well. I think all teams are rivals to Man United. So, do I want Liverpool to get their 7th, or do I want Real Madrid to get their 14th? So, you know, neither is great for Man United. It doesn't really make a difference. I'd rather that an English team get it. So, I hope Liverpool win it. I think they probably will as well. But yeah, we're going to watch it. It'll be fun. Obviously, if you support Liverpool or Real Madrid, you'll be very excited. I'm just hoping for a really good game. I'm just hoping it's going to be fun. Snare trap applied by Jungle Boy. Starks almost getting to the ropes. Jungle Boy drags him back to the middle of the ring. And Swerve with, I think that was a missile drop kick. Swerve going up top. Double stomp there by Swerve. 2, 3. Swerve gets the pin and the win. Whose house? Paige's house. Here's Hobbs. Hobnob. Hobnob's in there. Clothesline. Jungle Boy jumps on the back of Powerhouse Hobbs. Here's Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus is coming down. Tell you what, there's some girls in the front row that are just absolutely loving it. Here's Keith Lee. Keith Lee's making his way down as well. Would you say Double or Nothing or All Out is AEW's biggest WrestleMania? We were talking about that the other day, actually. Wrestle Andy, we were talking about that the other day as to which one is the one. I think it's All Out. I think it's All Out because I don't think you can tell the story of AEW without talking about All In. And the success of All In is the reason why Toni, you know, ends up doing the deals with Kenny and the Bucks. And I mean, that show is just so important. But I do appreciate that Double or Nothing is the first kind of show that AEW put on. So you can make arguments for both, but I think for me, it's All Out that's the one. Keith Lee with a crossbody. Rolls in the ring, grabs Swerve and celebrates. That's one strong man. He is limitless. Yeah, good. Here's Dan Lambert. So we've got Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, Dan Lambert. Okay. Friday will be special. Ooh, Scorpio Sky's got a brand new custom-made championship on the way. Custom-made championship for Scorpio Sky. Could look nice as well. Right. Thunder Rosa gets her intro. We got 39 minutes to go. We've got this and two. Here's Thunder Rosa. I wasn't expecting that outfit. Just got a red hat. Red jacket. This is the face of someone that has worked and earned everything she has. I have never complained because that's what champions do. Thunder Rosa chants from the crowd, and you can see that means a lot to her. You can see she's feeding off that as well. Big smile on her face. She hasn't got her face paint on. Maybe you should look at yourself in the mirror. This face used to look up to you, but not anymore. Hope you back up your words. You've been a flat champ, says Jilly. She is still wearing makeup, though, says Lister Jericho. Crowd really helped with that promo. They were very vocal. They were right there with it. I'm going to defeat you and haunt you forever. Not a bad promo. Not a bad promo. She was fired up there. She delivered her promo with a bit of punch. No, it was all right. Why is Rosa dressed like Mickey James, says CM316. I thought that was all right. I thought that I can see people in the fight chat saying that was awful. Thunder sucks on the mic. We don't need this match. Who names themselves Thunder? No, No, I thought that was all right. I didn't think that was a bad I didn't look at that promo and think it was a bad promo. That's all. Music botch. Slight music botch. They thought she had finished, but she wanted to deliver a little bit more, so she just spoke over it. If Rosa has got anything left in the tank, she's got a great chance to show us against arguably the best women's wrestler in Deeb. Sosko said she has been a boring champion. Serena Deeb is the real champion. I bet they get a golden dong. I'll let you guess who that comment's from. I want Carl to beat Joe tonight so we can get Carl versus Adam Cole Bay for the 49th time. Shaquem says we love her. She's been sporting the hat to advertise her Texas connection, says Heather. That fight chat is toxic, says Almighty. It is toxic, in all fairness. It is toxic. Sometimes it can be quite funny, though. Tico Loco said, come on, Days. We are positive here, too. I do keep an eye on that Tico Loco. Shout out to you. I do keep an eye on that fight chat because they can be quite funny. But they are quite often brutal as well. It's definitely not a place that censorship lives. There's not much censorship going on in the fight chat. But yeah, I thought that was all right. I didn't think it was anything that special, but I thought it was all right. Vape Ross Vape said this go home show is fire. Can't wait for Sun. Yeah, I mean, look, considering this is a go home, it's really good. Really good. Considering it's a go home, I think it's really good. I think if it was just a normal episode of Dynamite, you'd be like, yeah, it's all right. But for a go home, I've just been so conditioned to expect awful things from go home shows. This one has actually got, quite a bit about it. But as we said when we started the stream, it's like, I think this is going to be all right tonight. I think it's going to be quite good because there's actually a lot that's going on at the moment. There's a lot of really interesting stuff because that Double or Nothing card kind of came together quite late. And this is the 3-year anniversary tonight as well. So, there's just a few things that are going on tonight. Wes, shout out to you. Hope you're well, bud. Smash the like button, says Rivy. We're backstage with Red Velvet. Dragon then said, neither Thunder or Serena feel like champions. It will never look right when you've got a woman like Jade. Better wrestlers or not, it's just hard to buy. I think though, where they just need to have their own identities. I think where you've got a powerhouse like Jade, that's fine. But we also know that Jade is very green. So even though Jade is this jacked, monster in a good sense, I don't think it's out the realms possibility that if it's Jade versus Serena Deeb would be able to legitimately win that fight, win that match. What it feels like to me, actually, is that Jade is the women's heavyweight champion. And then you've got Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb that are middleweights type situation, That maybe makes a bit more sense. But if it was Serena Deeb versus Jade, I'd quite fancy Deeb to get the win there. Here's Britt Baker. Britt Baker is coming down. I thought this would be our main event, actually. Dr. Britt Baker making her way down. Britt Baker versus lots of pyro. DMD. Here's Jamie Hayter and Reba. Britt Baker, I think, saying she doesn't need them. And there we go. She's coming down to the ring on her own. So Reba and Jamie Hayter being sent back. Jade feels like the champ of the women's division, says Austin. I agree that Jade looks like a real champ. James said, I find it funny how people were saying Ruby Soho to AEW because of the way WWE treat her, and yet AEW has done nothing with her either. Ever said Joe is going to be the main event. Let's go DMD, says Luke. Here's Toni. Toni looks so good since she changed her hairstyle and started smiling. I think it's the change of hair. She looks really good. Toni Storm coming in and going over to Britt. Bell sounds. Charlotte is the greatest female wrestler ever, says Sosco. Tarrant said, who is better, Mo Salah or Benzema? Well, if I could only have one player in my team, I'd have Benzema. But Salah, when Salah was on form at the start of the season, he was absolutely tearing it up, just, a couple of goals every game, you'd probably have Salah at that point. But I feel like Benzema has got that ability, as does Salah, to single-handedly change the game. I was hovering, but I gave them the benefit of the doubt, says William. I think it'll be Statlander versus Britt, with Statlander making a push for the TBS title, says Yazid. Right, we've got... we're into the final half an hour of this one. Final half an hour. Britt trying to take Toni Storm over. Toni... side headlock. Britt trying to kick out. Nice by Toni. So sad I missed the opening Wardlow Spears cage match. Was it good? It was, yes. It was. It is definitely worth watching. There's some really good spots in it. Some really good moments. It was good. Didn't get as long as I thought, though. Kind of thought, I actually thought it'd be the main event, and I thought they'd probably give it a good half an hour or so with, entrances and the amount of commercial interruptions and everything, but I think it ended up getting, the first 15 minutes. But, I mean, in all fairness, it did not outstay its welcome. They did quite a bit of stuff with it, and it was fine. But I could have took a little bit more of it. Could have had a little bit more. Who is your favourite Man United player? It's got to be Rooney. No, my favourite Man United player was Schmeichel. I got into United in the early 90s. And I got into supporting Man United because I didn't know anything about football. And so when I got to school, you had to. In my school, you either spoke about football or you didn't speak. So I had to learn very quick. And I always used to get shoved in goal. So I used to just watch the best goalkeeper, and that was Peter Schmeichel. And he played for Man United. So I got into them that way. And I had some friends that supported them as well. So obviously that helped. So I... used to watch Schmeichel so that I could learn how to be a goalkeeper. And he was the best. He is still the best goalkeeper that I've ever seen. So I would say that he had the biggest impact on me, and as a result, he is my favourite player. I think Rooney was amazing. I love Rooney. I would definitely have him on the list, but I couldn't put him top. Same with Giggs as well, and Keane. They're all on the list, but I couldn't put them top. DMD is dumb, I think the sign said. And Britt grabs it, rips it up. She rolled into the ring to try and break up the count. Stole someone's sign. We're still underway. The action's just been on the outside. It feels like maybe we were at a commercial break. It's been very slow for a while as we've been on the outside. But we're back into the ring now. I feel for Shawn Spears. He's a good wrestler. He deserves better, but he needs more character because he's kind of plain, says Chugs too. Nice right hands coming in here by Britt. She trips Toni down, grabs Toni's leg, rolls to the outside, grabs her arm. She's taking her over to the ring posts. She's actually going to drive her stretcher out. She's got her arms, putting the boot in the side of the head. That's nice. Chop coming in there by Britt. Britt rolling into the ring. Big smile on Britt's face as she goes over, grabs Toni. Looked like Britt was going to hurl Toni Storm into the corner, but the referee kind of stood in the way. So instead she hurled Toni Storm down. Now she's putting the stretch. I got called an inbred banjo playing once, and I don't even play the banjo. Do you follow American soccer like MLS? As a Man United fan, I wish Pulisic played for us. I don't, unfortunately. I just don't. It's not really shown over here. I mean, it probably is on a channel late at night, buried away somewhere. But no, I can't say I go out on my way to watch the MLS. I don't have a problem with the MLS though. I think it's a fun league. You get like a lot of guys once they're getting into their like retirement. You get some good players coming through. And so there's a mixture of like young American players that are, you know, coming through. And it's like old, apparently Messi is going to go to the MLS. So, you know, it tends to be a bit of a retirement league for like some of the big names in Europe. But I mean, that's kind of fun in a way if you was in America. It would mean that you'd get to see some of those legends, you know, as they kind of get towards the end of their career. But I can't say that I couldn't even find a way of fitting it into my schedule, to be honest. What with UFC, wrestling, Premier League. Oof. Toni Storm collides into Britt. Tries to slam Britt down. A little bit messy. Not. Oh! Air raid crash by Britt. 2 count. Couple of moves in this recent sequence have just seemed a little bit off, but here's Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter making her way down. Jamie Hayter has come down to ringside. Britt is saying no. Roll up by Toni Storm. Kick out by Britt. Kick coming in. Net breaker, nice swinging net breaker. 1, 2. Oh, another 2 count. Running out of time. Jamie Hayter on the edge of the ring. Is she going to distract? I feel like it might be... Ooh, German looked a little bit off. Missed the days where none of us knew the insides. Yeah, we were talking... It's funny you should say that. We were talking about that earlier, about how like the wrestling industry has changed so much. We were talking about that exact point, yeah. I think it was better back in the day, before social media and kayfabe was gone. Toni Storm with a forearm strikes Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter goes to the outsides. Britt goes for a kick. Toni Storm catches the leg, kick to the midsection. Britt has reversed it. Toni Storm rolling Britt up. Pin. 1, 2. And there we go. Again, even that finish was a bit botchy. But Britt Baker gets the win. I must admit, I expected a bit better from those two, but I don't know how much they've been wrestling each other. There's blood on the nose of Toni Storm as well. So Britt Baker has made it through. So it will be Britt Baker against Ruby Soho or Chris Statlander in the final. Another roll-up, but that is how you win as a heel, says Yazid. If you thought the 90s before kayfabe was great, then you should check out the territories, says Brenton. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really delved into the territories. I'm obviously aware of them, but I've never really dug into like Mid-South and Jim Crockett and Florida Championship Wrestling, and I've never really gone into all of that. It was never shown over here, well, at least not to my knowledge. And yeah, it's a hard thing to kind of find footage on, although there is, you know, obviously bits on the network. We just got Double or Nothing. They're running through the cards. Tarek said, do you want to see Moxley back in WWE and make a team with Seth? No. No. I think that Moxley is a death match. Moxley is who he is in AEW. He's not Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is a very watered down version of him. And I don't think he enjoys playing that character. That character is a watered-down version of him, and I think he is happier in AEW. I don't think he was that happy in WWE. So I must admit, I'm not too crazy about seeing him back in WWE. I wouldn't mind seeing a Shield reunion. I could vibe with that. But I think him as when he was out on his own had some moments. But I would say, actually, surprisingly, he probably struggled out of the 3 Shield members the most as a solo star. I mean, look at Roman. Roman's the man. Seth is killing it. I would say that Ambrose just never quite felt that same level to me. He did at the start, around 2015, when, you know, that year after they broke and he was doing feuds with Seth. He definitely did then. But I think as time went by, he really was struggling. And I think he is more himself in AEW. Ambrose was more entertaining. Moxley is a bit much, says Lister Jericho. Ledger Killer says, I am watching AEW Dynamite. Shout out to you, Ledger Killer. Hope you are well. MJF is the biggest draw ratings-wise, says Sosco. He's very good. I can understand he's in probably their best story at the moment. Aren't Jurassic Express defending on site? I believe they are, yeah. Triple threat match. Jurassic Express versus Keith Lee and Swerve versus the other ones. Whoever it was. Oh, Starks and Hobbs. When we say a time before kayfabe was ruined, what are we talking about? Because AEW fans are the first to want to bring in off-screen stuff to judge an on-screen story, despite being the smarter fans. What? When we say a time before kayfabe was ruined, what are we talking about? I suppose we're talking about social media, internet. We're going back to that. So, I enjoyed wrestling more when I didn't have the spoilers, the rumors, the news. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think I necessarily need to go back to a time where I believed it was all real when I was a kid. I don't necessarily need to go back to that time. I think it's all right that we know that we know that it's scripted. Like, that's fine. It's like I don't watch a movie whilst I'm watching a movie and think to myself, well, this is all fake. I saw that actor in a different film the other week. Like, you watch the movie, and when you're watching a TV drama, you're not sitting there going, wow, this is all fake. Like, you're just watching the story, you're watching the TV thing. I don't watch Walking Dead and think, well, zombies aren't real. Like, I'm able to just, like, watch it. And I think people have got the ability to do that with wrestling as well. So I don't think that that's necessarily the problem, to be honest. I think the bigger problem is the fact that there's so many spoilers. There's, even just little things that matter. Like, we know the next 3 opponents for Roman Reigns. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? We know that Roman is meant to face Riddle, Randy, and then Drew, which makes me think, well, Riddle ain't winning the belt. Because if Riddle was winning the belt, I'm sure there'd be rematches. So that seems to me like Riddle ain't winning, so I already know what's happening there. Then he's facing Randy. I'm guessing he's going to get past that. And then, seems like the final boss is going to be Drew. Now, the Drew one will be interesting, but by the time we get to Drew, we'll find out the plans. So you're just constantly sort of knowing the direction that WWE are going, even if it's just like little things like that, like you don't actually know the winners of the match. It still all adds up, and that is just one little thing in a sea of loads of stuff. Like, you just hear loads of stuff. We are very quickly getting to the point where someone might as well just read you the script of what's actually going to happen on each show. I think that's a problem. That bothers me a lot more than, is this real? 14 minutes left to go. Irish Rebel, shout out to you. How was my day? My day was weird, man. My sleep pattern's gone to pieces. I was actually awake until about 4 o'clock UK time. And then I went to sleep for about... Actually, no, it was later than that. Oh, God, it was way later than that. It was 7, actually. I went to bed at 7 UK time. And then I woke up at 11:30, so I've had 4.5 hours sleep. So my sleep is just awful. Kyle O'Reilly. Right, here we go. This is... must be our main event. We've got 13 minutes to go. Let me say it another way then. Reports that Roman re-signed a new contract, and that's why he's a different schedule, but it's not true. Roman is on the same contract as before. I've not seen any reports about Roman. Oh, hang on. Have I seen reports that Roman re-signed? I've definitely heard about him working reduced schedule and less house shows. I've definitely seen that. Tyson Fury could fight Drew at Clash at the Castle, says Steve. Shawn versus Brett, SummerSlam 93. Shawn versus Brett. What? What are we talking about? Joe versus Kyle. Yes. Joe should take care of Kyle O'Reilly handily. Right, we are underway with this match. Samoa Joe in blue and black. Love. Oh, God, that's a nasty kick coming in by Samoa Joe. Elbow drop. Elbow drop by Samoa Joe. Some of them kicks were harsh, man. Shoulder up by Kyle O'Reilly. Nice strike there by Bang. Chop coming in as well by headbutt Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe very much in control. Ever you as holiday? I have lost a family member. James said, Roman signed a new 5-year deal. I saw. This is an NXT match. Yeah, it could have been. In fact, I don't even know if they did face each other in NXT. I don't know. Nice strike. Probably not. Probably not. Let's have a look. Samoa Joe, Kyle O'Reilly. Just having a look, seeing if there's any NXT War Words Turns Physical. No, I don't think they did in NXT. They were in, obviously, at the same time. Certainly when he came back. But I think the first time he was in, I don't think Undisputed had arrived. Because I remember they arrived by attacking Drew, and I think Samoa Joe had already been called up by that point. So I think the only time that he would have worked in NXT would have been when he returned. And that was not the longest of runs. Joe versus Cole, Double or Nothing will be awesome. 92, Shawn, Brett, says Anthony. I don't know what your question was, but I don't know what that was. What happened to the WWE Network? I'm still paying for it, but I've not watched it. It's still there. I mean, if you're in the UK, it's there. If you're in America, then I think, did it get cancelled? Well, in America, it's on Peacock now. But I don't know if your membership was cancelled and then you had to resubscribe to Peacock, or if it automatically just moved across. I've got a feeling that it got cancelled. I've got a feeling that your membership was cancelled and you was encouraged to sign up to Peacock. I don't think they could legally move you across. I don't think so. My American friends would know better, of course. But here in the UK, we still have it. In the UK, we still have the network. We don't have... Peacock hasn't arrived here yet, I don't think. It's on the way. But I don't think we've got that Peacock service. So, for now, we still have the WWE Network. Kyle charging over. Big forearm strike. Kyle O'Reilly goes down. We're into... Tommy said we did have to re-sign on Peacock. There we go. So, it depends where you live. If you was in America then, you might not have been paying for it for years because your membership may have been cancelled if you never resubscribed to it on Peacock. If you're in the UK, then yes. It's still there. Big boot by Samoa Joe. Brad says it was cancelled. You had to re-sign. Into the ring goes Kyle. List of Jericho said Peacock is here. It's just as bad as the US one. Has it arrived? I thought it was coming in the summer. I didn't think it was here yet. I've not seen anything promoting it. Peacock UK. Yeah, you're right. It's been quite quiet. I've seen no adverts or anything for it. Sky and Now customers can access Peacock via a dedicated app. Wonder what's on it. I don't even know what's on it. Clearly not WWE. Kyle O'Reilly back in control. Peacock.com. Actually, I don't know where you find it in the UK. I don't know. I have no idea what's on there. Oh yeah, it looks like it just sits on Sky and Now. I found a link to it, and it just takes you like learn more about Peacock on Sky, learn more about Peacock on Now. I don't want to. I don't want to right now. I'm going to watch the final 5 minutes here. Larry said, I pay $5 for all of Peacock and all of WWE. Hookhausen taking on Toni Nese and Mark Sterling. We got that match coming up. Mr. Mercedes put on a good show. Could be a demo stage right now. Maybe. It doesn't feel like it's a massive launch. I mean, I honestly, I didn't even know it was here. I've not seen any mention of it or anything, so that's news to me. So, yeah, maybe the bare bones has arrived, but certainly doesn't have WWE on it. Couldn't even tell you what was on it. Joe in control. Knee strike coming in by Joe, and again. I wonder why Vince got rid of Joe. I'd love to know why he got rid of Joe. I feel like Joe is a weird one to let go of. I mean, he's got a good size to him. I know that Vince likes ripped physiques and everything, but I don't know, man. Joe looks like a wrestler. Joe with his head in his hands. Joe on his feet. Grabbing Kyle. Strikes coming back. Kyle getting backed into the corner. We are into the final 3 minutes. Austin said maybe it's because Joe got injured a lot. Yeah, could be. Makes sense. He went for the muscle buster, but it's reversed. Yeah, the armbar applied here by Kyle. They gave Joe the NXT title, and then he got hurt, says Tommy. That was after he got released. He got released on the main roster. I understand why he ended up getting released in NXT, because he was sort of in Last Chance Saloon there. He only got rehired because Triple H didn't want to see him go. But we never quite found out what happened on the main roster. Or I've never heard what happened on the main roster. I think he got injured and then they moved him to commentary. And he never went back. He never went back to actually competing. Then he got released and then was working in ring in NXT and then got injured again and then got released again. So I think the injury is definitely... But I'd love to know why he was released initially from the main roster. What was the injury? Did they not think that he would come back from it? Or did they think he could come back from it, but he would never fully recover? Or I'd find that interesting. I'm sure he must have been told. Joe rolling over to the corner. Vince got rid of Joe because of his liability. Ever since Jannetty broke that guy's neck and paid out $2 million, they want to avoid injuries and accountability. What? You think it's connected to the Muscle Buster incident? Trying to get a sleeper hold applied. He's got Kyle O'Reilly down. We're running out of time. There's only a minute to go. Oh, he's going out. He seems to be fading here. This looks like Kyle O'Reilly's in big trouble. Yep, he's choked him out. It is going to be Samoa Joe. Adam Cole against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe against Adam Cole. I'm down for that match. I'm down for that. That is the final of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Adam Cole against Samoa Joe. And we know that it's going to be Britt taking on either Ruby Soho or Chris Statlander for the women. Here's Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole, baby, making his way out. Do you think, baby? Buy-in is at 7 Eastern, apparently. So that means the buy-in starts at midnight, which means we will probably start an hour before at 11. Oh, that's later than I thought, actually. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't matter, 'cause that's Sunday, innit? I'm just trying to think, like, how am I going to fit that in the boxing, but they're 2 different days. Oh, I'm getting all in a kerfuffle. Right, what do you score AEW Dynamite? What you score AEW Dynamite? Do you give it an 8 to 10? Do you give it a 7 to 7.5? Do you give it a 6 to 6.75? Do you give it a 5.75 or below? Oh, jeez. Jeez Louise. My keyboard fell. Boom. Done. Right, get in your thoughts. What did you think of the show? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you love it? How did you rate it? Let us know. We'll wrap this baby up. We'll wrap this baby up for this. I thought it was pretty good. Go home. Looking forward to Sunday. I think that Double or Nothing card actually doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad at all. I'm quite intrigued in that main event. Don't know which way they're going to go. I like Adam Cole, Samoa Joe. Really like that. Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb. Looking forward to that. I don't know what an Anarchy in the Arena match is, but I think that could be good. Yeah, I think there's some interesting stuff. Britt Baker's got through to the final. I don't mind Britt Ruby. I just hope it's a good match. I don't mind Britt Chris Statlander. I just hope it's a good match. So I don't mind which way they go with that one. I just hope it's a good match. So yeah, I'm not down on this card at all. I actually think this card looks all right. Despite Paige, I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. We've got some 7s. 725. Thumbs up. 8 out of 10. Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan was an awesome surprise. Austin said Britt Baker advanced. She did. She did. Solid 8. Martin says 8. Shaquem says 725. Larry said, I love that ending. It was a good ending. Good ending. Luke said it was an easy 8. I think it'll be Britt versus Statlander, said Austin. James said, I can see why Cody left now, 100%. I wasn't expecting much, but it was good tonight, says Jay. Do you know what? I agree with you. I absolutely agree. I am actually going to give this a little boost. Sometimes I'm at around about a 7. I think this was really solid. Really solid. I think there was, Toni Storm, Britt Baker seemed a little off. I really liked the cage match at the start. Yeah, I actually think this was really solid. I would probably be leaning up than down. I'd probably be leaning to 7.5. More than 7. So not only am I in the 7s, I'd say I'm well in the 7s on this one. Yeah, and for a go home, I think it did very, very well. Very, very well. I thought I was going to need to get used to this. I am busy. Anthony, shout out to you. Getting your thoughts. We're almost at 100 votes, which is good. Keep getting in your thoughts. And as we said, a couple more minutes. We'll end the poll. See what you lot think. And call it an evening. But yeah, I think it's set us up really, really well for Double or Nothing. I feel like we're in quite a good place for that show. As I said, I think that card looks really interesting. I think it looks really good. I think I don't know what they're going to do to surprise us. I don't know if it's just going to be a straight normal show. There's no, like, Joker positions. So there's no, like, mystery people positions. So, I don't know. Could someone walk out? And could we get a surprise that way? Could someone make a save? And we get a surprise that way? Maybe we don't get any surprises at all. And to be honest, I'm all right with no surprises. I don't feel like we need surprises all the time. So I'm all right with no surprises. Equally, I think there's a really good chance we could see some New Japan people getting involved. I think Forbidden Doors, not that far away, just round the corner. Probably makes sense to use some New Japan stars. We've seen Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan tonight. I wonder if that is just a way of them saying, there could be more of this type thing. Here's a couple of New Japan guys, and just plant that seed that, do we get something at the weekend? Don't know. That might seem a bit more likely than a Bray Wyatt or a Johnny Gargano or, something like that. Maybe it's a bit more likely that we get... Imagine if, like, Naito walks out or something. Jesus. Tanahashi comes walking out. Or Okada. Or Ospreay. Imagine Will Ospreay walks out at some point. Jeez. I mean, that would be huge. Maybe not for the casuals, but it'd be huge for us. Steve said, do you think Punk will win the title and then Kenny returns and confronts him? I can't say I'd thought that. I think that it's actually quite close. I don't see Kenny being back like anytime soon. So I'm gonna lean more to no, because I'm not expecting it, and I'm not expecting Kenny to be back anytime soon. So Punk could win, but I think you could make an argument for Hangman retaining. I think it's tricky to know which way they go on that. I think it's really, really tricky. I cannot get a read as to which way that match is going. I cannot get a feel for it. So, do I think that Punk wins and then Kenny Omega confronts him? I'm going to lean to no. Just because I don't think Kenny's back anytime soon. So, I don't think you would tease a match or build a match that you can't deliver yet. But Punk could absolutely win. Could absolutely win. Heather said, I am all for a New Japan crossover with Ring of Honor. It needs elevating. Ibushi. Oh my God, Kota Ibushi, of course. Of course, with the whole stuff that's happening there, which I actually don't know enough about. Has he actually left New Japan now? Because if Kota Ibushi has left New Japan, you've got to think he's coming to AEW. I mean, I know it would mean moving over to America and everything, but what with his relationship with Kenny and Golden Lovers and all that stuff, it's a no-brainer, really. Got to think he'd be coming over. But if he's fallen out with New Japan, it's going to be quite political, isn't it? Because New Japan might not want to see him go to AEW, and they might try and block that move. I don't know. I don't know enough about that situation, but it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. James said, MJF should be the one to beat Hangman, not Punk. Michael says, are you doing NXT in your house? No, I don't have any plans to do NXT. I think we don't watch it in the week now, so if we was to do it, I wouldn't really expect anyone to be joining us for it. It's sort of like us if we did like an Impact show. I wouldn't really expect anyone to join us for it because we don't do watching Impact each week, do we? Same with like New Japan. If we do a New Japan show, I wouldn't really expect anyone to join us because we don't do New Japan each week. So no plans to do in your house. Primo said, do you think Britt is AEW's version of Charlotte? Someone that the company bends over backwards for? Well, yeah, but I think they both deserve it. I think Charlotte deserves it. I think she is legit a great athlete. I think Charlotte would have made it even if she wasn't Ric Flair's daughter. She's athletic. She's good promo. She has good matches. She is the equal of a Sasha, a Bayley, a Becky. Like those, it's not like those women are considerably better than a Charlotte. I actually think Charlotte plays the heel role very, very well. And of course, she's taken a lot of influence off her dad. She's got the figure 4, which she uses as the figure 8. She's got the robes. Her dad said to her, like, you know, don't wear your own merch. Let the fans wear your merch. Let the fans buy into you, and they will go and buy your merch. So she doesn't wear her own T-shirts. She, you know, she comes out in these great robes and great ring gear and everything. And I really like that. I really like how she doesn't wear her own merch. And that was something that, you know, was an influence from her dad. I'd imagine like all aspects of her character and her promos and everything have been influenced by him. We even see like the strut being broken out, don't we? She does the little strut and everything. But no, I mean, look, she gets a bad rep for really because people just think that she only got there because of her dad, and I'm sure he did definitely open the door for her and definitely help. But no, I mean, it's ridiculous to suggest that she's not a fantastic wrestler in her own right. So I've got a lot of time for Charlotte, and I feel that Britt's the exact same. She's a great promo. She's a great in-ring competitor. She is someone that you can rely on. She's someone that feels like a big star. So, I think it's a good comparison, and I think WWE does bend over for Charlotte, and I think AEW does bend over for Britt, but I think they've both earned it as well, so I don't have a problem with it. Right, let's wrap this up. Let's end the poll. See what you lot are thinking. Are you excited for Cody and Seth at Hell in a Cell? Sure. I'll get more excited. I don't really get excited for the shows until we get to the shows. So, you know, it's like, are you excited for Clash at the Castle? Sure. It's a UK pay-per-view, but it's not keeping me awake at night at the moment. As soon as we get to the week of the show, then I'll be really into it. And the same with like Hell in a Cell. I'm more excited and looking forward to thingy Double or Nothing this weekend. Right, 7 to 7, 7-5, 39%, 8 to 10, 38%. So, wow, let me try and do the maths there. That is 77% of you. 77%. I might have not got that right. I've got that right. 77% have voted tonight's show 7 or above. 7 or above, 77%. It's pretty strong feedback. Pretty positive feedback. So it seems like people really enjoyed this week's AEW Dynamite. I hope you did as well. Really appreciate you joining us. Thank you for joining us. We are back this weekend for Double or Nothing. Should be a good show. We will probably be doing something on Saturday as well. Probably the boxing. As I said, I still need to look into that. And we are back on Friday for SmackDown. I don't know when Rampage is this week. Again, something else I'm going to have a look into because that show's moving all over the schedule at the moment. So I will look into where that is. Oh, I got to admit, I'm looking forward to it going back to being that hour after SmackDown, which I didn't think I would say, but that feels like a good place for it to sit, to be honest. It's moved into early time slots, and the ratings just don't seem to be that great for it in those different time slots. Although maybe if it was like permanently there and settled there, then maybe it would perform a bit better once people knew that it was there. But I am looking forward to it going back to where it was before. So, but I don't know if that's this weekend. Probably isn't. So something else to look into. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate the support, and hopefully I will see you again next time. Bye for now.